Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411, and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slomins, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
This is a big old show!
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the big old show! You're tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday, Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727, or online at adreamlending.com. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by HialeahParkCasino.com. Enjoy simulcast racing, dining, a magnificent poker room, and a casino with the most popular machines on the market. OKCoin.com. Download the app on iOS, Google Play, or Windows. OKCoin.com with over 50 different coins and incredible staking rewards. Pallet Rack City. There's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
The Big O Radio Show originates from the OK Coin Studios. OK Coin is one of the largest fiat to crypto trading platforms in the world. Founded in 2013, OK Coin offers advanced features for crypto beginners and high-volume traders alike, enabling users in 184 countries worldwide. The Big O Radio Show is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley from the OK Coin Studios. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Yes, sir. Welcome aboard to the beautiful Hialeah Park Poker Room. We are in the second floor, rocking and rolling like we do every Thursday. Give me a little more juice on my headphones there, Sean Stanley, the man that masters this program every single day. He knows all. You can't figure out SoundCloud, but he knows all. What the hell is going on with that thing? Damn. What the hell is going on?
I think it's starting to pick and choose what it wants to do.
Damn.
And when it wants to do it.
Yeah, damn, it's just crazy. Anyway, welcome aboard. We're at Hialeah Park. We got an absolutely loaded show for you today. We got Tiger teeing off at 11. So Yeah, at 11. So we'll keep you updated on that. The Panthers and the Heat are off tonight. You know me. I hope he makes the cut. I don't think he's going to make the cut. It's just that alone. I know people are going, oh, let's see if he can win the tournament, but I don't even think he'll make the cut. But we'll see if he does. Just making the cut alone will be one hell of a feat to come back from that injury. A devastating injury, obviously, that he had. But like I told you, we got a loaded show for you today. Anthony Chang is going to stop by in just a couple of minutes here at 10:10. He'll join us, and we'll talk a little Miami Heat with our liquor split Miami Heat report. And you got to, hey, listen, download the liquor split app. You're going to need it throughout this whole playoff season with the Heat and the Panthers. All right. Well, I mean, if you watch Inter Miami on Saturday, you need to do a lot of drinking. So yeah. Liquor split app the entire time. And then you use a little edge to kind of pick you up a little bit there, all right? So that's what you do. But Anthony Chang will join us with our liquor split Miami Heat report at 10:10. Our buddy Henry Revolta, the Hall of Famer, the promoter, he's going to be with us at 11. Why? Because we've got another Gran Noche de Boxeo Cubano. That's right. That's what we're going to do down here. May 7th, baby. We will have the weigh-in on the 6th and then the fights on the 7th. We're going to start giving away tickets next week. We'll start giving away tickets. So get ready. And you're going to want to come because it was a phenomenal night. About a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I think it was. It was awesome. This place was packed. I told you guys, honestly, more people than I expected showed up. It was really, really good. And what a great vibe. And this card is actually going to be better than the last card. So it's really going to be a lot of fun. So we'll talk to Henry at 11. He'll tell us who is going to be there next month. A month from now, by the way, it's April 7th. It'll be May 7th. So we are exactly 1 month away from boxing again. And this is what I love. And you know, one of the things I talked to them about, you got to do this often. This has got to be every month, every other month, something like that. You got to get it going and bring it back because we don't have enough boxing locally. And this is the one, this is one of the places where you can, hold these kind of events and bring a great crowd. So we'll talk to Henry at 11. Alan Poupard will join us at 11:30 to talk a little Miami Dolphins with our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report. Marcel Louis-Jacques will give us the edge at 12:30 with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. Remember, you can get 10% off when you order Edge Energy Drink. Use my code Big O. Go to myedgedrink.com. You can also get it at Liquor Split, too. So if you want to get some liquor, snacks, and of course, the great energy drink that is Edge with zero aftertaste, okay? Zero aftertaste. So Marcel will join us at 12:30. And then at 1 o'clock, we'll talk a little Okie. David Dwork will stop by with our Lenny Locksmith Florida Panthers lockdown segment. So he'll stop by at 1. So we've got a loaded show for you. Everything from hockey to basketball to football to boxing, as we told you. And we had wrestling last night. So we got it all for you here on the channel. So make sure you keep it locked here and spread it. By the way, we are now under 100 people to get to 12,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed, please smash the like button. Please subscribe. Get us to 12K, man. Let's go. Remember when we were trying to hit 3,000 or 4,000? What was it? Was it 3,000 or 4,000? I think it was 4,000, right?
4,000 for a while.
Yeah, it was 4,000, yeah.
And it took us a while to get to 6, and then once we hit 10, it seems like it's jetted now.
Yeah, it's
done pretty good.
It's done pretty good. It's been great. Thank you all out there. I can't say enough. Gilbert Martinez, thank you, sir, for dropping some love on the Super Chat. Always appreciate you all helping us out and supporting us any way you can, whether it's a donation, whether it's hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing the link, visiting our terrific sponsors. Remember the challenge, Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises. He's gotten some calls there, but, once he gets whoever gets their roof in first and gets it done gets our show. So call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com if your home or business needs a new roof. If you get it done with Tommy, we will do a show. So let's go. Let's get it done. And Greater Good says, hit that subscribe button. That's right. Thank you out there, as always. A lot of things to talk about today on the show. We will be all over the place. Also, by the way, I got to say something just to kind of open things out with, kind of let me get a little crypto talk out of the way and get a little OK Coin crypto corner real quick for all of you out there, because right now Bitcoin is at just under 44,000, and it's been in that channel right now between 43 and 47. And I told you guys that I want this thing to kind of go sideways a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. And again, those of you that don't follow it aren't going to understand it and aren't going to maybe even believe what I'm saying. Those of you that do, I want to enlighten you a little bit more about this. The market's taking a hit. The government's raising rates. Mortgage rates are up to 5% now. Mortgages are dropping by 40% across the country. People are not doing their mortgages right now, okay? Because obviously rates are going up, and they're only going to go up more. We got the war still going on. We've got all kinds of different issues that have gone off, right? And it has crippled the market and other things. If you look at the crypto market, it's gone down a little bit, but Bitcoin is held pretty strong here where it's at. And I got to tell you something, that's an incredible positive. And right now, Michael Saylor and Terra Luna, buying up hundreds and millions of dollars of Bitcoin right now, and the reserves are as low as they've been in a long time. Back to when Bitcoin was at 7,000, the reserves are as low as they were when it was at 7,000. Mind you, it's at 43. Mind you, since then, how many more coins have been mined and bought, and how many more people are in? And look how low the reserves are at this point. So there's only one way it's going to go. But the most impressive part is that the thing that people talk about that is so volatile, and some people still don't trust it. Well, guess what? It's actually holding stronger than the stock market right now through some turbulent times. And I think it's because people are starting, very few, are starting to realize, especially the rich, that this is the better option for my money. This is where my money is going to grow. This is where my money is going to stay stronger than it is in the traditional market. So if you really look at what's going on around the world right now and how it's causing all kinds of problems for the regular markets, when it comes to Bitcoin, it has held pretty damn strong overall. And that is a very impressive thing right now, because it easily could have gone back down into the 30s, and it doesn't. And it's staying up there in the 40s. And I think eventually it's only going to go in one direction. So that's your OK Coin crypto corner. Impressive the way Bitcoin has held right now with all of the stuff that's going on around the country, around the world, by the way. All right, let's get into a little basketball, baby. It's time for our Liquor Split Miami Heat report.
Let's tap into the latest with the Miami Heat and our Liquor Split app Miami Heat reports with insider Anthony Chang. Liquor Split is Miami's own online liquor store. Download, then tap the app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split. Here's Anthony Chang.
Hey, there he is, Anthony Chang, ready to go. He's downloaded the Liquor Split app just in case there are moments where he may need a drink or two. And
it's a long season.
And that's right, off season. There you go.
Yeah.
Or postseason. I mean, right after you finish writing that championship article that they won the title, you can then get on the Liquor Split app and then order a drink at the end of your day, right? Or at the end of your year.
The end of a long season?
Yes.
That's a good time. That's for sure.
That's a good time. It's a good time. It's always a good time for that Liquor Split app. All right, so let's get into it right now. So what do we see over the next couple of games? They're off tonight. Friday they'll take on the Hawks, and then Sunday they'll be in Orlando. By the way, is this a stinking tradition? We always have to end with Orlando in Orlando so many times. Why is that? First of all,
begin the season in Orlando and end the season in Orlando. I feel like 4 of like the last 6 years, the first game has been in Orlando for some reason. So yeah, I don't know what it is.
That Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh game was in Orlando.
Yeah. And
what I mean by that Dwayne Wade, for those of you that don't follow what the hell I just said, is because I was there for that game. It was the last game of the season. I drove up there. Not that QAM's cheap ass would pay for me to go, but I figured I'd want to go since I'm a beat guy. And I said, let me go. This might be really important because it's the 4th or 5th pick on the line. And that's what was on the line, was the 4th or 5th pick. And a lot of people wanted Riley to lose that game so he would get the 4th pick, but he ended up winning the game, and Toronto ended up, also winning, so they still ended up with the 4th pick, and the rest is history. And they went with Dwayne Wade, and really Riley wanted Bosh, right? Wasn't it Fund that knocked him into Wade? I think that's how it went, right? Didn't Riley?
I believe
Big,
so.
Right?
Yeah, I believe so. I wasn't around the team at the time, but from the stories I've heard, I believe that's the way it went. And
yeah,
I mean, it's funny because those games, like the one in Orlando on Sunday, probably meaningless, but that one was a franchise-changing win, even though it was meaningless in the moment.
Yeah, that's a game that you think about it and the decision. It could have changed the trajectory of
everything.
the entire team, because maybe nobody comes to join Bosh here in Miami, unlike maybe Wade was, charismatic enough to bring guys here, where, maybe Bosh is not able to do the same thing. Although Bosh does have the personality, but he's not considered the kind of player that Wade was.
Yeah. Still had Miami though. So those 3 guys might have still found a way to get to Miami of the the 3 cities, but who knows? Yeah.
Well, let's just be happy with the way
the way it unfolded, right?
Yeah. What'd you think of LeBron now talking on the podcast, talking about, well, no, Steph Curry would be a guy that I would like to play with. Why is Mr. Passive Aggressive do stuff like this?
I don't know. I mean, this is LeBron's. That's the persona he's had now for the past few years. And he said, I mean, this isn't the first time he's talked about Steph Curry playing with Steph. Like, he's talked about how much he's wanted to play with Steph for a couple years now. So I wasn't too surprised by it, but it's like, I don't know, at some point you would think, I'm going to try to stop building teams and let them build it for me, because it didn't really work out this year with Russ. So yeah, it's interesting if the Steph is going to be the next guy he tries to play with. And we'll see. That might work better because Steph could shoot the ball. But it is funny how he just keeps going out there saying, listing guys he wants to play with.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Steph's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good in Golden State, right? Why don't you come over here, LeBron?
Yeah, I'm good. We're good. We got our team there and all that, and we'll see what happens there. All right. Are we expecting kind of a hodgepodge, like no Jimmy, no Kyle for the next couple of games, and even Bam maybe for the next couple of games? Or is this a time for Yurtseven and Dedmon to take over, and Caleb Martin and company? Is that what we're going to see the next couple of games?
I think it depends. I mean, I would think the Heat could clinch tonight. They could clinch the 1 spot tonight. If the Bucks beat the Celtics and Philly loses to Toronto, the Heat could clinch the 1 spot tonight, which would make the final 2 games obviously meaningless. And at that point, you would think most guys would sit. I still think maybe against Atlanta, they play some guys. I don't think everyone will play. But you have to remember, they have a week off pretty much.
They'll try to win is what you're saying. They're going to try to actually –
yeah, they might. I mean, they might try to, even if they have it clinched.
Tonight. Is it tonight if it doesn't go through the way they need it?
Well, if it goes through tonight, that's the thing. It depends on tonight. I still think either way, even if they need to win tomorrow, I think they'll probably sit some guys, just because what's the point of pushing guys, right? I mean, you've seen it the past few games. Kyle Lowry sits 1 game, Jimmy sits 1 game, maybe tomorrow it's Bam. So I think somebody will sit tomorrow, but if they're clinched already, they might sit a lot more guys than obviously if they needed to win tomorrow night to clinch. So it'll depend on the results tonight. And also, Another thing to keep in mind, Atlanta is currently, looking at it right now, tied with Brooklyn in the standings. Brooklyn is 9, Atlanta's 10. By beating Atlanta tomorrow, it would help the Heat reduce the chances of playing Brooklyn in the playoffs, because Brooklyn, if they're in that 7-8 matchup in the play-in, they will probably end up as the 7. So that might be another motivating factor in trying to beat Atlanta tomorrow.
How much does Oladipo play in these two games, and how much does it mean being part of the rotation if he plays well in the next two games?
I think what we saw a couple nights ago against Charlotte kind of tells us what we should expect as far as Victor's role in the playoffs, unless there's a significant injury. And we talked about this a couple of days ago, Big O. Like, they're looking to maximize Jimmy and Bam and their offensive skill sets, and that's by putting shooting around those guys. Victor, even though he made a career high 6 threes on Sunday, he's not known as a shooter. He's a slasher. He's a very good defender. He needs the ball in his hands to do what he does on offense. He's not a guy who really plays off the ball. And Jimmy was back in Charlotte. Victor did not play, even after playing his best game in a Miami Heat uniform. He did not play against Charlotte. Chris Quinn was asked about that decision, and Quinn said, Jimmy was back. We want to get back to what was working beforehand. So I really think they're all in and trying to get the best out of Jimmy, get the best out of Bam, create space for them. I know it's kind of been overused at this point, but that's what they're trying to do. And Victor right now doesn't accomplish that as better than Max Strus or Duncan or even Gabe Vincent. They want to put shooters that draw extra defenders on the court, to help Bam and Jimmy, and even guys like Tyler and Kyle.
How is the rotation going to work for Caleb and for Gabe Vincent now? Because Gabe has had his injuries too, and getting back in the groove. How are they going to include that young man? Because, man, you kind of feel for him because he's done a lot to earn time too.
Yeah, I think those guys it'll depend on the matchup and the game. I do. I think that back end of the rotation is going to change either from series to series or maybe from game to game based on what how the series is unfolding. I don't know if Caleb is going to be guaranteed consistent minutes. I don't think so, unless PJ Tucker. I mean, that's another story. PJ Tucker calf injury. How long will that bother him? If he's out, then obviously Caleb will probably start at forward. So that's the beauty of having depth. But I think the Gabe-Caleb decision, I think that's going to come down to matchups and how each series goes. But I do think they'll each play. I just don't think it'll be consistent minutes like a guy like Tyler Hero, obviously, or Bam or Jimmy. It's going to fluctuate throughout the games.
I get the sense, and you're obviously way closer to the team than I am, but I get the sense from afar, maybe Duncan might not be happy not being in the starting lineup, but professionally, he's going to adjust and he's going to try to thrive in that role and not be disruptive. Not that he should be. He got his money and everything, so he shouldn't be really complaining. And he's still going to get a good amount of minutes to show what he can do in the bench. But I think that's the good thing out of all of this, that unfortunately for Duncan, he has to go to the bench, and fortunately for the team, they get better with Strus. But the fortunate part, I think, overall is that you're dealing with a professional that isn't going to be pouting and creating problems because the coach decided to make a change.
Yeah, I mean, I've covered Duncan now since he got to the Heat 3 years ago. He's not that guy.
Right.
He's gonna like you say, he's a professional. He understands. Is it easy? He said it after last game. He has to wrap his mind around it. He's been a starter now for the past 2.5 years consistently. He hasn't really come off the bench many times. So, but yes, that is a good thing. And I think the saving grace for Duncan is the fact that you look against, Tuesday against Charlotte, he played more minutes than Max. And I think that's gonna again change from game to game based on who's on. Duncan was on, he was making his threes. Duncan played, I think, 10 more minutes than Max. And that will continue. If Max is playing well, Max is gonna get more minutes. But the Heat now have the luxury of, okay, who's on tonight, who's making their shots, and we're gonna, play them a little more than the other guy. So just because he's not starting doesn't mean he's not going to play more minutes than Max. He could. He just needs to hit some shots, and if he does, he'll stay on the court. So he's still going to have a big role, I think, on this team in the playoffs.
Explain. Anthony Chang, by the way, joining us. So make sure you follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chang on Twitter and catch his work there at the Miami Herald, doing an excellent job. Explain to folks, because right now we've got Cleveland at 7, Brooklyn at 8, Hawks at 9, Charlotte at 10. Explain to people how the play-in game works.
Yeah, so basically 7 and 8 face each other. The 7 seed has home court in that game. Whoever wins that 7-8 matchup is the 7 seed. That's why you would like Brooklyn to be in that game, because you would think they would beat Cleveland in that play-in game. You would think. You don't know with Brooklyn. You can't bank on anything, but you would think they'd beat Cleveland. And they'd be in the 7 seed.
These guys, Cleveland's not playing well, dude. So
that's why Cleveland's not playing well. And if Brooklyn is going to be favored to win their last 2 games. If Brooklyn wins their last 2 games, they'll be 7. So they would have home court in that first play-in game. So you would think they'd win that and end up 7 and face a 2 seed. Now, then 9 versus 10 play each other. The 9 seed has home court. Right now, it's Atlanta against Charlotte. Atlanta home court. The winner of that game faces the loser of 7-8.
Right. And then the winner of that then faces the Heat.
Right. So we're talking about, we don't know the play-in schedule yet. It's obviously next week, but we could have to wait until next Friday to know who they're playing in the first round, with the playoffs then opening on Sunday. So Heat preparation, where they're just preparing for 4 different teams pretty much for most of the next week. But it's good for the Heat in the sense of that team, whoever's 8, is going to have like 36 hours to prepare for the Heat and travel to Miami to play a game 1. So the Heat will have a big advantage after resting all week.
Oh, hell yeah. And by the way, with the Nets probably ending up at 7, if you're the 2 seed, the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Sixers are all, trying to fight for who's going to end up with number 2 and probably the rights to face the Nets in the first round.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to happen.
Yeah, and Brooklyn has its issues. I'm not saying Brooklyn's perfect. Obviously.
Oh, I know. I'm not as much as Ira has kind of like had the fear of God of facing the Nets, and I know they're good. I know you have 2 stars and all that. Yeah. I think the Heat will beat them in a 7-game series when it's all said and done, because they're the better team, they're deeper, and they're the better coaching staff. That's the one thing that I have to keep mentioning to people, reminding people. I don't care what Brooklyn has, and I don't care what Steve Nash has done. He ain't jack compared to, Eric Spoelstra. So, to me, I don't fear the Nets nearly as much as some others do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think obviously I don't think it's ideal to face Kevin Durant in the first round, especially if you're a first-place team. You don't want that to be your reward in the first round of the playoffs, but
you still got to win. You know what?
If
you're the Heat, I expect you to win that series. I don't care if it takes you 7 games.
Right.
But you better win that series.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think like you were talking about the 2 seed and teams jockeying for number 2. If I'm a team in that range, I would rather face the Bulls, right? The Bulls are playing.
Right. Yeah, they're not playing well.
Not well. I mean, you'd rather face the Bulls than Brooklyn. So it is interesting to see if it looks like Brooklyn's going to end up 2, what those teams decide to do here down the stretch. To see who finishes in that 2 spot.
Yeah, the Bulls are 4-6 in their last 10, and the Cavs are 3-7. In their last 10. They're the only 2 teams that are in this playoff bracket from 1 to 10 that has a losing record down the stretch right now. So that's bad. It's just bad news right now with the way they're playing. And you know what? The Charlotte Hornets, if they end up outside looking in when it's all said and done, Michael Jordan, bro. By the way, somebody locally, not you because it's not your beat, maybe Michelle Kaufman can write it, but somebody's got to write that David Beckham and Michael Jordan, they have a lot in common in their post careers as executives because they're not very good, bro. Holy moly.
Yeah, Charlotte, I mean, they got somebody in Lonzo Ball, but they just have not been able to put together
considering how long he's been in charge. This is the best he can do.
Right.
I mean, seriously, come on, dude. Like
even when they had Kemba, it was like 7-8 seed, 6 seed maybe, but not a true title contender.
Nothing. No. It really, if anything, dude, put your ego aside and hire a real basketball person and step aside because you're not the guy, bro. I mean, it really is so obvious. All right. Anything else Heat-wise that the fans should focus in on in these last couple of games?
Well, I just think, we're about to go to practice now to get our first update on PJ Tucker. That is huge. I know it's labeled as a calf strain. The good thing is he has almost 2 weeks to rest. He's not going. would be shocked if he played in any of these 2 games coming up. He's not going to play. But he has now basically a week and a half, 2 weeks to rest before the playoffs start. Is that enough? We'll see. It depends on the severity of the calf strain and how fast he recovers. But that is a big deal. I mean, PJ Tucker has been an important part of that starting lineup. Defense, experience. I know his 3-point shooting hasn't been great lately, but he's been a good 3-point shooter overall this season. So that's going to be worth monitoring. That's the last thing you want to see at this point. You want to see him clinch the 1 seed, but I think you'd rather just be healthy. Even if you get 2, like, you'd just rather be healthy and avoid any injury to a key player like that.
I'm with you there. All right, what are you working on the Miami Herald, Anthony, so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yes, today I'll have the latest update on PJ, and I'm also working on something with Bam as far as his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. I know he's been campaigning pretty strongly for Defensive Player of the Year. I think he does have a strong case. I think he'll get votes, and the votes are due on Monday. So I'm going to let him make his case for himself as far as for Defensive Player of the Year, and we'll see if he wins it.
All right, you got it. I'll call him Defensive Player of the Year if he fights off Udonis Haslem in an octagon. All right, follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chang. Catch his work there at the Miami Herald. Anthony, as always, thank you for taking some time, my friend. We'll catch up next Tuesday.
Thanks, Big O. See you soon.
Got it. There you go. Anthony Chang, good stuff as always by Anthony. Always appreciate him and appreciate our proud sponsor, Liquor Split. So tonight, if you're hanging out, download that app, iOS or Android, Liquor Split. Cheapest, safest way. Ooh, what was that again? Yeah, Liquor Split. There you go. Safest way to get liquor. You don't have to risk drinking and driving at no extra cost. All right. And what you're going to love about downloading that app, it's nice and easy in your Apple Store, Google Play. There are no hidden fees. You know how you order some food on some of these apps? There's all kinds of hidden fees before you're done. $2.99 flat fee. That's it. You can order your liquor. You can order your snacks. You can order Edge Energy drink. You can order all kinds of things. Plus, $1 goes to solving homelessness in Miami. So you're also doing it for a great cause and super convenient. Listen, maybe you're late for a meeting. Somebody's coming over. You forgot to, get a bottle of whiskey, bourbon, whatever it is. Liquor Split. It's a beautiful thing. You got a party going on. You forgot to get the liquor. Boom, Liquor Split. Get that app. It's right in your hand, and you're going to love it. Liquor Split. Tap that app. Everybody loves to. I know I love to tap that app. Do you love to tap that app?
Yeah.
Oh, she loves it when you tap that app.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Liquor Split. That is the app. Enjoy. All right. Let's see. What else do we have going on here? Henry Revolta, by the way, will join us at 11 a.m. Well, we're coming to you live, of course, from Hialeah Park, where we are every Thursday, except 2 weeks from now. We'll be here on a Monday. When we got to Vegas, we'll be here on the Monday instead that week before we leave to Vegas on Tuesday, right? Tuesday night we leave to Vegas, right? Yeah. No, Wednesday we're there broadcasting. Tuesday night, right? Yeah, that's right. We're there Wednesday, exactly. So we'll be there for a while. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. Wake up the YouTube algorithm by hitting the like button. Yes, that's it. Greater good. Thank you. Jerry and Company says, I'm worried that raid in Germany on that Russian business that dealt drugs and used crypto doesn't freak out the U.S. Treasury, our government over. No, Jerry, none of that stuff should affect anything. You know what I mean? Janet Yellen is on board now. They were all on board from the get-go with crypto. They were just lying to you guys. Crypto was going to go through no matter what. You can't stop it. That's the thing. You can't stop it. No government can control it because it's ours. And that's the beauty of it. And they've figured that out. The problem is most of you aren't educated enough about it, so they keep you in the dark by scaring you. That's what they were doing, man. It's like, Topher, now that I can remember the 70s show. He's all, China. And this, no, dude, it's all about manipulation and manipulating the people. They try to manipulate us, but they can't control us like they can in North Korea, China, Russia, Cuba. Certain countries, they could just control you. But here they can't control us, but they'll try to manipulate you by lying to you, by scaring you, because it scares you from buying, allows them to buy lower. That's all it is. Scaring you to sell, so it drops the price, allows them to buy lower. That's what this game is played, man. The game of misinformation is what's played. So you don't have to worry about that, Jerry. They know deep down inside, they know the financial system in our country is so crippled and crushed and broken and bleeding left and right that they know it's only a matter of time. The funny part is when I hear people talk about, like Bitcoin being some kind of a Ponzi scheme or a balloon, the part they don't realize is the dollar is the balloon. I'm just saying, man. That's the part people don't understand. The freaking dollar is the balloon. It's the one that's lost 80% of its value since you started it. Whatever, man. It is what it is. GM Big O, hopefully you went back and listened to the tape when you called FB, and I quote, an absolute freaking savior, not a big deal. You, again, just, does he mean Brian Flores, quote, or savior? What does it say? Who's FB?
The fullback, Ingold.
I didn't say savior. I never said savior. I know.
They're trying to throw timestamps and everything else now.
Yeah, right. Anyway, morning, Big O. I think it's so funny on how the sports media are saying how great Devante Parker will do at New England, and when they've never said anything about him. Richard, it's just a bunch of crap. His hamstrings will freeze there. He's not going to be able to play long there. They'll get rid of him, and it'll be a nice pickup for the Dolphins. They'll deal with one injury-riddled year, and then the second year, they'll end up putting him on the bench after, more breakdowns. That's just the way it's not Devante's fault. What happens to Devante would happen to me, would happen to you, because normally that's what would happen when you play that brutal game. You're going to break down a lot because the human body's not made for it. It's normal that he breaks down. But in New England, he's not going to hold up. Whatever, man. It's all narratives, right? Because, of course, Mac Jones is the next Tom Brady. Oh, he looks like Tommy. Oh, yeah, he acts like Tommy Brady. He throws like Tommy Brady. He's got this calm coolness like Tommy Brady. In fact, Mac Jones is the next Tommy Brady. And that's, where are they now? They're not saying that anymore because it's just a hype machine. It's funny because it is a good point. It's not a matter of us getting any hype machine, but if the Jets sign somebody, they'll get the hype machine. If the Giants sign somebody, they'll get the hype machine. The Mets, the Yankees, the Islanders, the Rangers, you go to New York, you get the hype machine. Miami, you're not going to get the hype machine. That's just the way it is. We're not that city. We're not Miami. We're not LA. We're not Chicago. I'm sorry. We're not New York, Chicago, or LA. We're not even Dallas for football because Dallas accomplishes nothing. And any little thing they do becomes the greatest thing out there. Look at the Lakers. The Lakers are pathetic. You should have flexing in the NBA. Those clowns should have not been on national television for half a season already. And yet they keep putting them on. Hype machine. So that's all it is. New England's won a boatload of titles. Belichick is, the GOAT and all that. So you give him the benefit of the doubt that the team will continue to be good. And, he's coaching them up to be right a little above 500 and 9 games, whatever. So he's right there. He did a good job with the team last year, considering he had, his limitations on offense. So we'll see if Mac Jones, grows and takes another step. But that's all part of the hype machine. And in Miami, they don't get the hype machine. They get the negative machine. Well, even with the big three, you get the negative machine. They don't give the Boston big three didn't get the negativity, but the Miami big three gets the negativity. Right? Nobody's like picking on Brooklyn, right? For their two guys and then going to add Simmons after they had Harden. Right? Nobody, jams on the Warriors having guys. No, it's usually Miami. Miami's the only one that gets that hate that they got for the three guys when they brought them together. Just part of it, man. We're not part of the hype machine down here. The Florida Panthers are the best team in the world. No hype machine for them. But if any other hockey team that's in Chicago or New York or LA has this record and is playing this well and this offense, oh my God, people would be talking about it left and right. They would be saying, wow, this is one of the greatest offenses in NHL history. Because it is. But they're not really bragging about that. So we don't get the hype, man. We just don't get the hype. We get the hate, not the hype. Big O, good morning from New England. Looking forward to the draft. Glad I don't have to stay up late to see Miami's draft pick. Well, if we're in Vegas, it won't be late. It'll be late after when we go out. I don't know. Will we go out, or we might be so worn out all those nights? You know what we'll do? Yeah, right, a buffet. Exactly. Yeah, hit a big ass meal after that and then go to sleep, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah. It hasn't been the dollar since 71. Nixon took us off the gold standard. They are the Federal Reserve notes. Now, central banks don't use crypto. Yeah. No, central banks are going to be collecting crypto now, my brother. I don't know if you know that, but you can go check it out. Okay? And the dollar isn't backed by gold anymore. So that's a problem. Big O, do the Finns sign Morstead or draft the rookie punter phenom everyone is talking about? I would rather sign a veteran punter. I'm telling you that they're gonna want to sign the veteran punter. Do you know why they're gonna want to sign the veteran punter? Here's why they're gonna want to sign a veteran punter instead of drafting a punter. You kept the entire defense together. You kept the defensive staff together. You brought back X and Emmanuel Ogbah, and you restructured Jones. You did everything to have continuity on defense. You brought in an offensive guru and staff that are here supposedly to fix the offense, the quarterback, the running game, the blocking, all of that, correct? Special teams. You brought back everybody, pretty much. So now you got to go get yourself a veteran punter, because the last thing you need right now is to break in a rookie punter that may be inconsistent, may not be ready for big moments. If you're the Miami Dolphins, you sign a veteran punter because you want Mike McDaniel's transition to be as smooth as possible. If you lose X or trade him, you now have to replace him. If you lose Emmanuel Ogbah, you now have to try to replace him. If you lose your defensive staff, you now have to change schemes and people have to adjust and all that. They did everything, notice, to keep continuity outside of the offense. The offense didn't need continuity because it was a disaster. But everything else kind of needed continuity, and that's what they felt. And that's what they've done. So in order for you to get on track right away on special teams, go get yourself a veteran punter. That's what I think the Dolphins need to do. That would make more sense. If you're trying to make the playoffs, if you are a 9 or 10 win team, which you are, and if you improve your offense, you should be in the playoffs. Don't bog the coach down by having to worry about the defense or the punter on special teams. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I would think the Dolphins are going to sign a veteran punter when it's all said and done. I played high school football in Miami and college in Wisconsin, and there's a huge difference when you're injured. Parker will see that for sure. Oh, man. And in that cold weather, it's just, Richard, it's hamstrings. You know what I'm saying? Hamstrings in the cold. Oh, my God. Like, at least here in the heat and humidity, you have a chance to keep it loose and, but in that freezing cold, oh, my God. When November rolls around, I just think it's going to, if he makes it to November, I got nothing personal against Devante Parker, but unfortunately, his body, like most of us, not made for football. It's interesting that Miami basically has shunned New England in the division race. You build your team to win the division first and foremost, and we've done that against the Bills. Flo was all about beating New England. Jesse, I don't really know about that. I don't think he was structuring things to beat New England. I just think he knew New England better, so he was able to beat them because he knew them personally, whereas he didn't coach with the Bills. And, dude, the Bills are just better. They're just better. That's all. They're the best team in the damn division. And the Dolphins have a lot to do this year to cut into that and cut that lead. The Patriots are not. And I just think he had an advantage, at least on the preparation side versus New England compared to the Bills. The Bills, not only do you have to have great coaching, but you're going to have equal talent too at the same time in order to win those kind of matchups. And that's why Miami has not been there, because they have not been on equal footing, coaching or talent. Now we're going to find out how far Mike McDaniel has cut the gap between the Bills and the Dolphins. Dornell Oscar, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, Bonjouro. Have you ever seen one player generate this much hate in all your years of doing this? There are far worse QBs out there on other teams, but Tua gets all of their hate combined. Never seen it. There's only one person that was just as polarizing and maybe even more than Tua. No. More than Tua. There's only one. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was the one guy that generated the same kind of passion from fan bases and from detractors alike. Although I probably would go that Tebow was at another level. I've never seen the level of fanaticism one way or the other for Tebow. So I would say Tua is in second place. Now, Tua gets more hate than Tebow. That I'm going to give you. You are correct, Dornell. Definitely correct on that. But Tebow got his critics too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would probably go only Tebow's the only other guy that was kind of in that area, I would say. Rosendo says, agree, Big O, especially since it was the defense that carried us to that 7-game winning streak. And crappy teams. Let's not forget that. That's what happened in that second half. They played a lot of garbage teams, and they were able to pick up some victories. It's what they've been forever. They're better than the real terrible teams, and they're not good enough to beat the playoff teams. They're always like stuck in the middle, and that's kind of what they did in the second half of the season. They had a whole bunch of easy games, and they racked up the wins. Big O, it's amazing how the Dolphin players are happy to be back. I wonder what changed and what makes the environment more enjoyable. That's Jamie. And, I was going to talk about this, and thank you for bringing it up, Jamie, because if you watch the interviews from X and Ogba, and if you watch it from other people, and we're going to ask some of our insiders today about that, there is no doubt in my mind that Mike McDaniel has already made an impression. Listen to the words, because, we have the folks that don't listen and don't pay attention to what we're actually saying. And there's no doubt he's already made an impression. Now, it's his job to make a difference. We all know that. But he's made an impression. All these guys that meet him, they like him. It's not like a thing in passing. It's a colorful response to it. You know, like he's cool. Oh yeah, no, he's got a good vibe. He's got great energy, this, that. And so you can tell that Mike McDaniel has already made an impression in that building. He has changed the vibe in that building. Will it turn into results? Well, we don't know that. We're going to find that out. Obviously, time's going to answer all of that. But you can tell that X is not a guy that he doesn't really share much. He doesn't really elaborate on a lot of things. He stays very, very, how can I say, benign, boring, predictable, cliche-ish. That's kind of his answers normally. And you can tell, you can see the expression in his face when he was talking about it and all these kind of things that they don't think about those kind of things when they're on the podium. They don't know how they give away their body language at times. And you can tell that all the players, man, that meet that guy, that talk to that guy, that hang out with that guy, it's something that they're enjoying. And we talked about this for the last month here. He is made of that new school style because we had this conversation about millennials and Generation Zs and that these youngins, you got to handle them a little different. They don't know what tough love is. Most of the millennials and Generation Zs, some of you on the chat board, can't handle tough love. Can't. They crawl into a corner. They take it personal. They take everything literal. It's just one of those things. So Mike is kind of set in that world, and he understands the shortcomings of some of our youth in today's world. And they can't handle certain things. I mean, you say you give youngins nowadays some kind of an insult, and it stays with them like luggage. Like they don't forget it. Like it changes their lives. You know what I mean? Not old school. Just the way it is. So we'll see. But there's no doubt that Mike McDaniel has made an impression. And when you watch those press conferences, you can tell. I just hope now it leads to the changes on the field that we're hoping for. That's what we need, man. We need that offense to get fixed so we can live on the edge right there. myedgedrink.com. Use my code, by the way, Big O. You get free shipping right there. Edge Energy Drink, myedgedrink.com. And by the way, perfect elixir if you want to mix it up. I was just telling you that I was drinking some Grey Goose and Edge over the weekend. I had 2, by the way. My wife stopped me at 2. And I was like, man, you can't taste the vodka. And she goes to me, yeah, Mr. You can't taste the vodka. That's your second one. And I was buzzing already, so I'm good because I'm not really much of a drinker. But, I had 2 of them. I was chilling out. I was relaxing. And it felt good. And Edge Energy Drink is like that, man. It goes great with mixing with drinks. So check it out, myedgedrink.com, and use my code Big O, just Big O, and you will get free shipping there. And don't forget, you can also go to Liquor Split, download the app, and you can get it there. I don't think you get the 10% there. That you got to go to My Edge Drink and use my code in order to get the 10%. I just want to make sure I warn you because some of you will go to Liquor Split and order it and go, well, where's my 10%? It's not a Liquor Split. You got to go to myedgedrink.com and get it directly from them. Put our code Big O and you will get the 10%. And when you taste it, When you taste how good it is, how delicious it is, and zero aftertaste, you're going to remember me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. GM Hindsight, thank you, sir, for giving us some love on the super chat. He says the defense carried the team on the winning streak as narrative. The offense was not explosive, but it was efficient, with Tua operating it, allowing the D to rush to perform its complementary football. Yeah, but it wasn't enough on offense. And listen, GM, has nothing, to me, I don't blame it on Tua. So it's not, I don't blame it on the line. I don't blame it on Tua. I don't blame it on the running game. I don't blame it on the receivers. I blame it all on Flo and the coaching staff. That's the reason why that defense didn't have the compliment it deserved in that passing game. That's what we got to do. Yes, edges 78 calories. Yes, not bad. Yes. Wait till you taste it. Okay? That's the best part, because when you taste it, you're like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, wow. This thing tastes great. So use our code Big O so you can get free shipping. Whenever you have negativity like Flo was, it spread and just makes the whole environment negative. Jericho says, the Bang Pina Colada was actually good when I added Don Q to it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Big O is on. I just came from a Dolphins channel with alternate universe takes. Well, filthy cat, you got to stay here, bro. You got to stay here to get the right Dolphin takes and the right Dolphin insiders, which, by the way, Alan Poupard will be one of our insiders at 11:30, and Marcel Louis-Jacques, our Edge energy drink, Miami Dolphins report will be at 12:30. We'll talk a little Panthers at 1 o'clock with David Dwork and our Lenny Locksmith, Florida Panthers lockdown segment. I saw Michelle Kaufman's article in the Miami Herald, and look, she's right to a certain extent, but to another extent, I don't think it would be the answer. And she wrote an article. Did you see this about Inter Miami acquiring Lionel Messi? And, it's cute. It sounds nice and all that stuff. And I know some of you soccer fans, well, come on, it's Messi. I know, he's great. He's phenomenal. One of the greatest players ever. Him, Pele, Maradona, whatever. We can get into the stupid arguments, whatever. I get it. But the bottom line is, that's putting lipstick on a pig, is what it is. The Inter Miami team is not good enough to win anything, even with Messi. And we keep making that mistake in the MLS that we think that you acquire one player, and even if he's a great player, all of a sudden he's going to change the ways of the entire team, i.e. Chicharito. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. And he struggled badly in his first year. This is not a good team. And getting Messi would only hide the mess, is what it would do. It would be it would be very Tannenbaum-ish. All you're doing is adding a shiny new toy, but the team still is a mess. So what you really got to hope for is that some of these young guys that Chris Henderson and company went out and got, that some of them develop into players. That's the saving grace for this team over the next couple of years. Messi is not the answer. Okay, and they're talking about this summer or after the Olympics and all that stuff, or the World Cup, I'm sorry. Whatever. It's nice to have them and it's fun, but you're all going to be frustrated if they're not winning. And so what is it, a novelty to just go out to the stadium to go see a former great player? That's what we want? Or do you actually want to see a team that's really good and that can compete for an MLS title? So by the end of this year, if there aren't a couple of young players that are developing, who gives a crap if you bring Messi? It's nice, but it isn't going to make Inter Miami a good football club. And in the end, that's what you want to be. So before anything, go find a foundation for this team of young players and American players. Get some homegrown stuff developing. And then you can think of adding those kind of pieces so you can add the, showcase element to it, in other words. But not a good move if you think that Messi is going to all of a sudden change your franchise and make you a great franchise. It's just not going to happen. Big O, I need to go to a Panther hockey playoff game. I hope it lands on a Saturday. Have you attended a game this year? No, not this year. I have not, actually. Right? No, I have not. I have watched all games on television. Big O, I'm confused about the contracts. What actually counts towards the cap and what doesn't? Don't worry about that now, 619. The guarantees normally are what counts in the base salaries. That's what you count on. You never count the incentives until they're met. Let's see. Fins up. Tua haters need to go root for the Jets. How much money would Inter Miami have to pay Messi? Well, he's making $41 million. They're not going to give him that, but they would have to give him a lot of money. But what you want is a great team so you can load the place up and sell it out. And it's a shame because there is a real dedicated fan base to that team, and you can really grow it if you win. But right now, they're killing their fan base now over the first 3 years. They started with all the hype, and they have died out completely from all that hype. Move it a little bit this way. What's it called?
Look like you're on a slow-moving slide. Somehow. I'm not sure if it's the camera. I have to double check.
Okay.
You started in the center, but by the end of this segment, this hour, you've had slid almost off the screen.
Well, that's possible. Sean, you don't have a Panther growl sample? You don't have a Panther growl drop? Okay, there you go. You got your growl. Yes. What are you going to say?
No, I was grabbing the mic.
Oh, okay.
Preparation.
Ricardo says, Big O, I am traveling from Argentina to Miami next week, and I'm going to my first NHL game ever, Panthers Winnipeg. Awesome. Good for you, man. You're gonna be loving life, Ricardo. That is so awesome. Live Panther games are a awesome experience. Nothing like that. Big O Tiger is going to make the cut in the Masters. Do you have a favorite to win? I'm a big DeChambeau and Cam Smith fan. Chad, I already talked about this. I don't think Tiger will make the cut. And no, I have no picks for who's going to win because golf has nothing consistent anyways. It's just a hodgepodge. Yes.
Well, I can tell you now, the four-letter network here is loving that Tiger's back. Let me tell you. There's been a 2-hour pre-show of just him.
Okay.
Of just him. I've been watching. Now he's up to the first tee area now. But for the last hour and a half that I've been here, it has been nothing but showing Tiger playing on hole 1, hole 3, going back and forth. But the four-letter network is loving it.
For sure. They have to love it, dude. They have to love it. I mean, it's this guy brings the ratings. And that's that's all that matters. Oh, here you go. There's I got live coverage right here. How about that?
And I'm following just the Tiger Woods group as well, so I'll keep updated as well.
Okay. I got it here. I got it up and the television too. So there you go. Let's see what else do we have here. Nothing like playoff hockey, says Thomas Jensen. If you never went, it's a must. Oh yeah. Once you go to a playoff hockey game, you realize that it's the best sporting event in the country. It's just the way it is. And obviously football's my favorite sport, but hockey live, dude, God, it is just freaking awesome. It's one of those things. I just hit the camera. I don't know if it's going to change the trajectory of it, but I just hit one. No, it did. Okay. What else do we have going? Oh, let's take a quick break. Henry Revolta set to join us. We'll talk a little boxing with him. Hour number 2 from Hialeah Park continues.
When you're ready to purchase a new home loan or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com. When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. The Big O Radio Show is looking for an experienced salesperson in the radio or TV business. The candidate must have at least 5 years of sales experience in the broadcast business over the last 10 years. Please email your phone number and resume to bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. That's bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Looking for an aggressive person who can help our platform expand into many avenues in our business. Reach out if you are the person that's able to make a difference. Welton Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane, Welton Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to Caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Slomin's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com.
The Big O Radio Show originates from the OK Coin Studios. OK Coin is one of the largest fiat to crypto trading platforms in the world. Founded in 2013, OK Coin offers advanced features for crypto beginners and high-volume traders alike, enabling users in 184 countries worldwide. The Big O Radio Show is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley from the OK Coin Studios. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We are ready. Hour number 2 of the program. We take you, of course, till about, I would say about 1:15, 1:20, right around there, right after David Dwork finishes with us at 1 o'clock. So we'll have some fun. We are awaiting Henry Revolta to join us. We have Alan Poupard joining us at 11:30. So we'll have a little fun with him. And let me see a second here. I'm sorry here. I'm just trying to do a couple things at the same time. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Apologies. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Big O, yesterday, 2 prominent Dolphin defenders said that everything is different. Everyone is happy in the building this year, but where are the crazy headlines about that? I didn't read all the stories, but I already just talked about this, so you might want to rewind if you just tuned in about that. So I talked a little bit about that, but I listen, in the end, ladies and gentlemen, negativity sells. Positivity does not sell. Being hopeful about Tua or being positive about Tua or stating a case for Tua doesn't sell. But if you tell me, well, pressure's on him, he's got to perform, or if not, they'll get those 5 picks next year and bunch him up to go get another quarterback, or that sells. Or listen, they've done everything for Tua right now. The back's against the wall. He's got to come through. Nobody ever mentions that, well, the offensive line didn't come through for Tua. The wide receivers didn't come through for Tua. The running backs didn't come through for Tua. The coaching staff didn't come through for Tua. They don't mention that. They think Tua blocks, runs, catches, coaches. He does everything. They think he's in charge of the whole thing. And if something goes wrong, it must be his fault. And that's what sells. And then you have plenty of people that will make it his fault. And they'll spin it that way. And that's what sells. What I talk about here sometimes with Tua, maybe that's not going to get as many downloads. Now, if I railed on Tua, that would get more downloads. Now, I don't do shock radio for those purposes. That's not my style. If I disagree with something, it's because I truly disagree with it. But I'm not going to go create a controversy when there isn't one. But controversies are what sells. Doubt is what sells. I showed you the Forbes thing the other day about the metaverse. And when they were talking bad about the metaverse and that how dangerous it is and that you could lose your money, Forbes had all kinds of hits. And then a week later, they're reporting that the NFTs and the metaverse are on the rise. And which are the companies you should look at? Less hits. Then 3 weeks later, after your initial one of how bad it is, you should invest in NFTs. Let's tell you who are the best. And in 3 weeks, they went from the worst to it's being great. And guess what? Every time the story got better, the hits were less. The views were less. The numbers were right there. By the time they got to the third story, it had 15% of the hits that the negative story had. Because you're going to read about the murder in the newspaper. You're not going to read about the fireman that saved the dog inside the sewage. You're not. You don't care. What sells is the 8-car pileup on the highway. What sells is rape, murder, bank robbery, car chase. That's what sells. So sports is the same way. You think these writers don't know that? Why are they going to talk about X being at the Boys and Girls Club and he was there for 3 hours of his day playing with the kids and then talking with them and took the time and did a craft with another one? Nobody's going to care about that. Nobody's going to care that Tua Tagovailoa went back to Hawaii to assist in a promotional game for high schoolers, where he also made a donation to help out high school football. Nobody cares. But boy, you're going to try to trade for Watson to replace Tua? We care. All of a sudden, we're reading, oh, Tua, yeah, nah, he has a noodle arm, and we'll show you why and tell you why. And then, it's all manipulated, but you care. That's what you want to watch. They're doing what you want. That's all. Don't blame the media. The editors, the producers, the general managers, they have the numbers. They see what you react to. And you don't react to any good Tua news. You don't react to any, why am I going to write an article about how Tua, behind the worst line in the NFL, which we've talked about it on the show, was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at avoiding sacks. In fact, he avoided more sacks than anyone else. But why would anybody care about that? Nobody's going to read that. Nobody's going to read that Tua has one of the higher completion percentages in the NFL in the tightest windows. Nobody's going to read that. Nobody cares that Tua has one of the higher completion percentages on deep balls. Nobody cares about that. Because positive doesn't sell. What sells is negative. Should we trade for Garoppolo instead of keeping Tua? That will get a hell of a lot more hits than you talking about Tua working out with Perform and looking good. Looking physical, looking thicker, looking stronger. Why? Why talk about it? We don't care. It's the way it is, man. It's the way it is. Took my dad, may he rest in peace, to a Chargers Fins playoff game. First game ever he went to. Nice. That's a good one to go to. David says, I was at the Monday Night Football game between the Oilers and the Dolphins. That was the loudest game I've ever been to. Earl and Marino putting on a show. I remember that. I was there. Was that the 9-6 game, right? Was that the 9-6 game? So true. Howard Stern made a life of all the shock jock news. Well, it's not just a Howard thing. It's everybody. It's called yellow journalism. The more outlandish, the more popular. If it bleeds, it leads. The rescue dogs are good, positive videos I will watch. Kevin, you and 3 other people. That's the sad part. You are the enormous minority. You're not just a minority. I mean, you are just you're like a really small group. Let's see. Big O, did you see and hear Dominic Foxworth in Talking Facts and making sense about Tua on ESPN to Damian Woody? It was great. No, I didn't see it. I guess I'll check it out. Big O, don't spend more saliva trying to explain the ignorance about how Tua is going to absolutely ball this year. By the way, Sean told me the first shot by Tiger was like a bunker shot almost, right?
Actually, it was right to the side. He's
of the bunker.
It looks like he's going for even par here in a moment.
That's not bad to start off.
Nope. He's actually going to be second in his group. Is it really wasting saliva if your job is talk radio?
That's true. But he means talk about something else.
Yeah, say it again. Okay.
Yeah. Talk about something else. Don't waste your time talking about that because you're not going to. I'm not going to change the media, which is true.
You're not going to change the perception of what everybody wants to watch.
That's true. And I'm not going to change the perception for people of Tua.
Yep.
Tua's going to have to do it himself.
Even when he does it, it's going to be they got Tyreek. That's why he's better next year.
I got to tell you something. I'm glad you brought that up because I thought about this the other day. I was sitting there, and I got to tell you something. You remember that picture of Braxton Berrios right outside the locker room? They were holding back his shirt, and he was like a junkyard dog trying to get to the field. You remember that pic, that meme, that little video, that JPEG or whatever the hell you guys want to call it, GIF, right? You remember it? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, when he was at the Canes, right outside the locker room, that he's trying to, it just kind of became a thing, and it ran around. A lot of people saw it, and it was awesome. I mean, I loved it, right? I know I have it somewhere saved. I'm pretty sure I do. That's me. That's me for the 2022 season. That's how I am right now. I'm just caged right now. But once September and October roll around and the kid starts playing well, let me tell you something. If I start seeing people make excuses for his success, the Kraken will be unleashed. Okay? I will go after people in a big time way. If Tua is balling and he's not giving the love, and I start seeing writers or TV people or radio people or anybody coming up with stupid excuses for his success and not giving him the credit that he deserves.
You know it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm going to unleash.
Everybody's going to forget everything.
It won't be
Tyreek
just on
Hill
the
did
show.
with the
It'll be on
Chiefs.
social media. I will call people out. Okay? And if I know you said some other stupid shit in the past, I'm going to bring up the other stupid shit along with your current stupid shit.
We're going to have so much good content.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we're going to have so much good
Oh,
content.
it's going to be on. It's going to be on. Okay? On.
Because everybody's going to forget about the Tyreek Hill that was with the Chiefs catching
5-yard
passes and
right.
running 95 yards.
Right.
Because then it's going to be,
right.
that's because Tua can only throw it that far.
Right.
And Tyreek's making him look.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
I want to see that
it.
stuff. And boy, I am
So good. So good.
I am going to crush fools.
Ooh. It's going to be a 5-star performance.
Yeah. There are going to be some rants during the season if this kid starts balling, which I expect him to. Because I know that stupidity is going to happen. They're not going to give him, the proper respect that he deserves for his success. And I still don't understand, like, as some of you mentioned, the negativity for the kid, which is just, it's the weirdest thing, man, out there. Because he's incredibly likable. Yes,
if he
sir?
didn't go to the Dolphins, is everything different for Tua?
I don't know.
If he doesn't go to Miami?
I don't know. It's a great question. I have no idea. I mean, if he goes to New York, maybe not. Although, if the coaching is that bad, people are stupid, so they'll say the same stupid things in New York.
Even with Sam Darnold getting traded to Carolina and still not looking good there,
no,
you're still not seeing the hate for him at quarterback that you see for Tua, who's had 10-win season.
You brought it up. I'm prepared for it. Did you hear Sam Darnold?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Did you hear Sam Darnold?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know.
Oh, my God.
I just look at, results, and you look at what happened.
Let me talk about Sam Darnold. Because as you all know, Sam Darnold is on the trade block if somebody's willing to trade for him from the Carolina Panthers. So the Panthers are in the middle of bringing in some of the top prospects, right? And, they've made their moves for Teddy Bridgewater. They've made their moves for Sam Darnold. Nothing has worked out for them, obviously, because they haven't really made a move for a real good quarterback. But Sam Darnold, by the way, in no way, shape, or form is down on himself. No. What you and I see in Sam Darnold are completely different what Sam Darnold sees in himself. He says, it truly is like whatever happens, happens. Because at the end of the day, it's out of my control. No, it isn't, you idiot. If you played well, they wouldn't be looking for another quarterback. If you played well, the Jets wouldn't have dumped you. And by the way, the last time I checked, you were a turnover machine at USC. And he says, I know that it's out of my control. Darnold told the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, Taylor Lewan and Will Compton do it. He says, I have enough security in myself to know where I can be like, I know I'm a good quarterback. I know I can be a good quarterback in this league. I've proved it. What? I've proved it? All these guys that make one or two really good throws or have a game, see, I proved it right there. Like Nick Foles is telling you, see, I'm a Super Bowl champion stud. See, I won the title. And I know that I know there's a team, if something happens, that would want me.
The XFL.
Oh, that's Sam Darnold, dude. That's the delusion that Sam Darnold lives in.
But that also is the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I mean, quarterbacks have the biggest thoughts of themselves.
Yeah,
so,
you got to think. I get it. You got to have an ego. And you got to think. But you also have to be humble to a certain extent.
But that's also why he's probably never going to get that much better.
No.
Yeah, if you can't humble yourself,
right.
It's always somebody else's fault. It's always something else.
Good point.
He's never going to be able to right the ship because he always thinks it's not him.
Yeah.
It's everybody else.
The great Ray Grullon, thank you, sir, as always. He's dropping the love on the super chat or bringing us gifts. Thank you, Ray, as always. Howdy-o, watch Tua throw an 80-yard TD, and the pundits will say, the wind helped the ball. Shake my head. Hey, Flo, you blow. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. But it's going to happen. Kid's going to be balling. They've won 4 in a row. He's thrown, in those 4 games, he's thrown, let's say, 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And they're going to say, oh, well, yeah, no, it's all McDaniel's play calling and the line. He has nothing to do with it. You know, you're going to have idiots that are just because you know what's going to happen, right? You have so many people that have already said he's not going to be a player. He can't play, noodle arm, this, that, whatever, that now they can't face the fact that they're going to be wrong. You see what I'm saying? And so they're going to come up with anything that they can to fight it so they don't have to admit that they read the kid wrong. So that's what's going to end up happening. I know. I've been doing this long enough, man. I know what it's like.
Oh, I just want to say this while I can right now.
Yes, sir.
Tiger Woods, 2nd place at the Masters, 1 shot off the lead.
Nice.
All right. Through 1 hole. Just throwing out.
Yeah, that's all. That's
7-person tie at the top.
That's it. That's all that
2nd place.
Through 1 hole, of course. Through 1 hole. Because really, technically.
And the tee shot on the second was a pretty good shot. It set him up pretty well.
Because technically, I think the leader. Right, yeah. Okay. All right. Harrington is all the way through the 10th hole already. Damn, that dude is cruising. What did he start off at 4:30 in the morning? All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O, most TV shows are all about creating drama, playing the highs and lows with the watcher's emotions because, as Orlando said, that's what sells. Exactly. Greater Good thinks that special needs fitness guru is Barney. Big O, you're a Dr. Fauci fan and you fantasize of him. Okay. Yes, I am buying a blow-up doll of him. Yes. And then I'm going to puncture it with a syringe. All right, let's talk.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Is my man Henry ready? All right, Henry Revolta is ready to go. Let's talk a little boxing with Henry. Henry, how you doing, my man?
It's a pleasure to be on the Big O Show once again. Hope everything is well for you.
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you as always. And listen, one of the things I talked about with Frank and everybody, and even with you also, I think the last time we spoke, I said, this has got to be a thing that you guys do more often. It's got to be every month, every other month. You got to get more boxing cards in here, make this thing a traditional thing. And I think I was so impressed with the crowd the other night when we did it a couple months ago that we can really build something here. So I'm really excited that we're getting this second card right away here for Hialeah Park, man. Really, really pumped up about it.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm really excited. Frank Fiore has done it again. I want to thank Mr. Brunetti. My partners also, Leon Margulies of Warriors Boxing and Louis DeCuba Sr. These are probably the two most knowledgeable men in boxing, alongside of Al Heyman and Lou DiBella, Richard Schaefer. Very intelligent people that are in the boxing business. But it's a real privilege for me to be able to be alongside an association with Warriors Boxing, Leon and Louis. And yeah, January 28th was a spectacular feel. You were there. You were part of every step of the way. So you know what it entailed to get that show going. But this one, I got to tell you, this one knocks the socks off the last one. And the winner of this event are the fans, hands down, bar none.
So talk to us a little bit, because the fight card apparently is, Frank was like, oh my God, this fight card's out of control. So give us a teaser. What's coming up with this fight?
Well, we got a lot of former Cuban national team members and former Olympians. We have a heavyweight who will be in the main event. His name is Lanier Perot. Very exciting heavyweight, represented by Warriors Boxing and I believe the Heavyweight Factory as well. Mr. Chris Lawrence and Leon Margulies and Louis DeCubas. He's a very exciting, big heavyweight, has kind of like a Mike Tyson look to him. Can punch, can really box, very technical. He's undefeated at 6-0. And he's going to be facing Hector Perez, who's 7-4, and is definitely no slouch. I mean, Lanier Perot needs to come in real kind of shape, or it'll be a long day for him with Hector Perez. We also have a kid on the card named Anthony White Chocolate Martinez, who's a big, tall kid, stands at like 6'3", 6'4". He's a cruiserweight who's 12-1, who has really, really stepped up in this event, and he's fighting David Light of New Zealand. Now, David Light was part of the amateur team in New Zealand, and he has a professional record of 17-0. So, I mean, for a local kid to step up 12-1, I had the pleasure of speaking to his brother Alfredo, who has a hand in his career and is the one who has developed him alongside with their father. But, I mean, this is a really big step up for Anthony. So I'm really proud that he took a fight like this against an undefeated guy, 17-0, being 12-1. And it says a lot about him and, everything that he stands for. You know what I mean? So it's only a blessing, and it's a really big part of the event. It's going to be for a WBO Intercontinental title. And what can I say? The Big O, you're going to love this kid. He's really classy. We also have a kid on the card, which you saw last time, who was the co-main event, which is Orestes Velasquez. He's the one that knocked out the kid's teeth, that the tooth went flying in the air. He was dropped during the fight, came back, and knocked the kid out for a win. He'll be facing former world champion Juan Carlos Salgado of Mexico, 28-9. So that should stand out to be a very, very good fight. Joannis Argelagos, who lost in the last card, is being brought back. He's 8-1, but he's fighting Frank Gonzalez, who's fighting out of the KO Fitness team, who's trained by Chino and Mike Robles, two great friends of mine, two excellent trainers that should get their shine any minute, and they're due because they're very hardworking coaches. But Frank Gonzalez is 9-2, so a 9-2 against an 8-1. That's going to be at 118-pound division, the bantamweight division. And then we also have a local kid, JD Martinez, who's a really fan favorite, sells out the house, and he's 14-2. He's going to be facing Sergio Castellanos of Argentina. There's a couple other kids on the card that aren't quite matched yet. We're still looking, but like I said, we got one of the most prominent, best matchmakers in the business, Melvin Chico Rivas. So he's looking for Isaac Carbonell, Ariel De La Torre, who's also part of the national team in Cuba, and a kid that everybody's been making a lot of noise about and can't wait to see. I mean, I can't wait to see him. His name is Victor Abreu, and he was also part of the national team, #1 in Cienfuegos at his weight class in Cuba. And there's also a kid from Kazakhstan on the card named Nikolai Schwab, who's 7-0, who, from what I've heard, Leon says he's absolutely incredible. So we're really looking forward to having this Kazakh fighter on the show. But I mean, listen, sky's the limit on the show. The ones who win this time around are definitely the fans.
Wow, that's impressive, dude. That's an impressive list and an impressive array of fighters from all over the world, man. From New Zealand too, and everything. Damn, you got a Kiwi in here, dude.
We like to mix it up, Big O. You know how we do it, and this show is gonna be great. The feel at the Hialeah Casino is bar none, right? Let's face it.
Yeah,
I've shows everywhere in Miami, including the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. But the Hialeah Casino has a great feel. It's a venue where there's not a bad seat in the house. The ambiance of boxing is in the air, and people just love to come out there. We got to support these Cuban fighters, man. They fight for freedom. You know, they come to this country looking for a way out of communism, of a regime that attacks every single method of their mind, the way that they think, the way that they're raised, that their decision making is zero. They don't get to choose, hey, I'm going to be a doctor, or hey, I want to box. If you want to box but you have a good arm, they might tell you can't box. You got to pitch. You're going to be on the baseball team, And if you're strong and you might be a good boxer, they say, hey man, you might be on the rowing team. So you never get to choose, man. So that fight and that struggle for liberty, for freedom, is something that I greatly respect. And we show these kids when they get here, we try to put them in the right path, make sure they learn a little bit about God, and they can put God first in their life so that they can be blessed, my brother.
Oh, I appreciate you, man. That's you're doing a good thing, and obviously, if we can get some of these kids out of that situation, it gives them an opportunity to live a free life, which is something that we're blessed to enjoy every single day. So overall, talk to us. How many? So is this going to be like 10 bouts, right? I think I was trying to count.
We're going to have a 10 card. I haven't spoken to Frank to find out the exact time of the doors being open, but I'm sure we'll follow up with you before the event comes.
Oh yeah, we'll start giving away some tickets next week. So I got to talk to Calibro to start giving away some tickets. We had a great crowd, man. Last time it was awesome.
Yeah,
God, that was fun.
Happy to have you there, man. You were a big part of it, and we really appreciate your time and your efforts. And you got the best show on AM radio. So I think you and
no longer AM. Now it's just platforms. Now it's
that's
definitely not on AM anymore. Thank God. Ugh.
That's the future. But my two people I know is you and Defo, and you guys both do a hell of a job. And I just can't wait for May 7th, man. I think it's going to be great. The Big O show, the best in town. I hope your fans come out and check us out and show some support.
No doubt. We'll definitely tell our fans about it, and hopefully we'll get. Let's see if we can get a couple of fighters on before the fight. Maybe next week we get one of the fighters on and we start previewing it with some of the fighters, Henry. All right, let's work on that.
And absolutely. The Nicaraguan kid that you liked won't be on the card this time around. And he's fighting on PBC. Excuse the noise because I'm in the middle of a gym. And,
you're good.
And there's other people in the background as well. But I wanted to make sure I was available for you for the interview. But listen, the excitement won't stop. The amount of fans and fan-friendly atmosphere that we got going on out there. There wasn't one argument. There wasn't one interference. There wasn't one brawl. It was all peace, love, happiness, and really, really good boxing. And that's what we want. We want everybody to come out, show respect, have a good time. Grab your popcorn and your drinks. Stick around after the fights. Come experience the casino's entertainment. They don't even know what the casino has to offer, many people, and they have a lot of great things to offer inside the casino. I had the privilege of staying myself last time and gambled. It was absolutely incredible, So this time I'm going to ask Frank to give me some more stuff so I can try to make some more money and not lose. Last time I lost.
And the food, by the way, was awesome, too.
Man, the food was incredible. The bartenders were incredible. I'm not a big drinker, but I know that the bars were full 24/7. They were nonstop. Everybody was really happy. They had, the Hialeah Police Department were there. They were making sure everything was in line. They did a great job. The security that Frank provided was bar none. And I think that all the media, all the fans, the television, being that it's going to be televised nationally, so nationwide. So, you know what? It's everybody wins, man. I'm just happy to be part of it. I want to say thank you once again to you first and foremost, to your fans for listening in and tuning in, to Frank Fiore, to Louis DeCuba Sr., And to Leon Margulies for, all their hard work and their efforts and working together as a team, man. That's what South Florida was missing. Some of the powerhouses to unite forces and bring boxing to these fans so that we can make these places bigger venues. We can make these fighters bigger names, and we can have the following that they deserve.
Amen, man. And I love boxing, so I'm glad to have it back. La Gran Noche de Boxeo Cubano 2, baby. It'll be Saturday, May 7th, right here at Hialeah Park. We'll give you the information so you can buy your tickets, and obviously we'll be giving some tickets away here on the show. As always, Henry, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up next week.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me. God bless, man.
You got it, my brother. You be good. Un abrazo. There you go. God bless, man. Henry Revolta, Hall of Fame promoter, kind enough to join us here to talk a little bit about the boxing card coming May 7th. Nature B, by the way, is the superfood. You're going to see some super talent in the ring. And you know what? There's a Kiwi there that's going to be fighting. Well, where do you think Nature B comes from? From the home of Kiwis in New Zealand. Yeah, clean, green New Zealand comes straight from Mother Nature. I've been taking Nature B for 20 years now. It's great for the adults. It's great for the kids. My daughter's been taking it since she was a child. She's now 22 years old. I'm telling you, it's great for everybody. In a virus-filled world, I don't care that I'm double vaccinated and double boosted. No, I still take my 2 golden capsules of Nature B every single day, folks. It supports great nutrition. It sustains energy all day long. You will have no fade in the afternoon. And of course, there's a ton of other benefits. Your nails will grow stronger and longer. Your hair will grow faster. And of course, your immune system. That's my favorite part. Boosting that immune system, because you're going all over the place. You're touching door handles and gas pumps and shaking hands and all that. There's all kinds of germs out there. And there's still some COVID going on around there, folks. Listen, all you need is my code, Big O. You see it right there. And you will get free shipping on the plant pollen. 1 month, 3 month supply, 2 month supply, 6 month supply. I don't know. Do they have a year supply? Whatever. You'll get free shipping on that pollen, baby. So order it. Use my code, Big O. Go to the website, natureb.com. Oh, yeah. We love Nature B. And we thank Henry for joining us here. All right, let's take a very quick break here. Alan Poupard will join us next. We'll talk a little Miami Dolphins with our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rheaume is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rheaume can help.
Oh, great. You got a doorbell camera. Now you got a front row seat to your house getting robbed. No. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Get out of my house!
Ooh, Mom's jewelry. There goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slomin's, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, a free doorbell camera.
Free?
One that'll actually work for you. It's not total security unless it's the Slomin Shield. Call 1-800-ALARM-NATE.
All right, we back. Yes, sir. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, keeping it locked here, coming to you live from beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, sir. Come on out and join us. Every Thursday, we're out here at Hialeah Park. Except in 2 weeks, we'll be here on a Monday because we got to go to Vegas that week. I'm looking forward to going to Vegas, man. Looking forward to going to Vegas. It's going to be fun. Richard says, with the projected starters from last year, who are the backups to Austin Jackson and Liam? Richard, why don't you just wait till actually you find out who first are the starters, and then you'll find out who the backups are. They haven't played anything yet. They haven't even started training camp. They haven't even started mini camps yet. So that's stuff that you got to wait for a little bit. Jorge Luis says, folks, please take a moment and hammer that like button. That's right, baby. That's it. What else do we have here on it? Oh, let's talk a little football. Let's talk a little Miami Dolphins. Alan Poupard in our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
Let's get ready to talk Dolphins football. It's the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupard. With locations throughout South Florida, Sports Grill is the home of the special grilled wings. Check out our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Alan Poupard.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Alan Poupard. How you
All three of them.
Ben? Feeling good?
Feeling good. Yourself?
Excellent. Can't complain. We're at Hialeah Park. Can never complain when you're at Hialeah Park. All right, so talk to me. One of the things that I see from players, and you saw it from X-Men talking about it a little bit, and Agba and other players too. I'm not going to tell you he's made a difference, but it seems there's an impression being made in the building. It seems like players are feeling a different kind of vibe. X is not really talkative. He doesn't really give you guys much at all. And in watching that interview, he was a little bit more colorful about Mike McDaniel, and it just kind of caught my eye that even X was able to, or was willing to elaborate a little bit more on the different vibe in the building. What are you hearing?
Well, you know what different vibe X is feeling right now? It's like $25 million guaranteed over the next 2 years.
That's not what I picked up on that comment.
Bro, come on. Let's not kid ourselves.
You haven't heard it. You haven't heard it from other players too? About
of course, they're starting the off-season program. We're April 7th right now. And it's a lighter time, and you got a coach who's got a much friendlier personality. I don't think there's any question about that he's got a much friendlier personality.
I'm not saying difference because we don't know if he's going to make a difference. We're hoping. I'm just saying it's clear he has made an impression and he has reached out to these players. In other words, it's clear he connects and communicates. And they noticed it.
Wait, you're on me. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. I don't know. What the hell is that, bro?
I had one of my 75 windows open, and right now I'm like looking for the window for our segment right here. Here we go. I have this nasty habit of having a lot of windows open.
Before you joined us, you just felt like going back in the way machine to watch 2001, A Space Odyssey?
Is that what that was? I don't even know. I think I was doing.
It sounded like it.
It was a page I was doing like the top movies of 2021. I was curious to see where Power of the Dog ranked because my wife and I had watched it last week because they got such good reviews.
So talk to me about the power of the dog known as Mike McDaniel.
Very good. No, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but seriously, it's April 7th. It's a time where
you're going to be that guy. You're going to be that guy.
The atmosphere is loose. Let's talk in August about this issue of whether Mike McDaniel's personality and the way he deals with players.
Keep going with difference. I'm not talking about difference. Let's wait till August. Then you were talking about
what is it? What is it that we're gonna determine right now?
There's no determining. It's an impression. But
it's the time of year also is what I'm trying to drive home. It's the time of year when it's a new year. You got new expectations, new hopes. A bunch of players just got paid. If Emmanuel Ogbah and X showed up at the press conference today looking like beaten dogs after they just got paid, something would be severely wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, those guys, if Flo was around, those guys would have said, yeah, no, I haven't seen Flo yet. That's what they would have said. Oh, yeah, he waved at me from the other side of the building. That's what I'm saying. It's just a different vibe. This guy connects with people.
Yes, but we knew that already. He's a different type of cat than Brian Flores is. We knew that already.
Okay, so that's my point. It already seems like he has made an impression on them. That's all I'm asking. But
again, they haven't had one practice and they haven't played a game. It's really easy. I'm going to be the friendliest guy in the world to anybody who's going to become a co-worker before we actually get down and work. And then if the guy doesn't have personality, that's what. So what?
And then you're going to be an asshole?
There you go. I'm not going to be an asshole right away. I'll wait a little bit, and it's going to be a hunky-dory, and everybody's going to love me before that.
You're Canadian. You're not allowed to be an asshole.
I'm not actually. I just play one on TV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No.
You people aren't allowed to be mean.
We're not. But I just can't get all like – I mean, mind you, I'm very curious to see what kind of job Mike McDaniel is going to do as a head coach. There's a lot of reason to be optimistic in a lot of places. But the idea of to me, again, they're starting the offseason program. Everybody should be happy and loose and relax and all that.
But I mean, I've heard, I forgot which player said, oh, look, he's a cool dude. And it was like, you don't hear that about your coach. You know what I'm saying? Not even your new coach. It's just kind of weird that,
he's a different kind of coach.
Yeah.
No question about that. No question about that.
That's all I was asking, because every time I hear the words from all these and out of all people, X is the one that really wow, dude, he doesn't elaborate on anything. It's one-word answers, it's two-word answers. He doesn't really say much, and it's just, I don't know. I just kind of felt that at least he's connected and communicated, which at this stage, that's all you can do right now.
Sure, but I think you could have said that about Adam Gase when he first started as a head coach. I don't think there's any question that Gase connected with his players early on.
Okay.
And same with McDaniel. No, and then going back to X, actually, he was more, elaborate about certain things yesterday than usual, but he wouldn't touch my question when I asked him if he felt confident all along that he would get his new deal, or if there were moments where he thought he would wind up getting traded. He was just, I'm not happy. I'm looking ahead.
Yeah, that's probably. It's at this point, why even go in that area for him? That doesn't do him any good. So I can understand why he would avoid, that question.
But he's locked and loaded. It's not going to. If he says, you know what? I thought at some point it might not work out, and I was kind of preparing myself mentally for the idea of going somewhere else. It's not like the Dolphins are going to say, well, you know what? You just said that. We're going to go ahead and turn around and trade you.
No, I know, but it only helps your story. It doesn't help him personally, because then it's just out there lingering, not for them, but for other people, and just to have something that they can chew on and think about it, and then use it on him a year from now if things aren't going well or something. So,
but I
can understand why he's protective and not going that direction. That's all.
I wasn't asking him to criticize the organization. I was asking him just if he ever thought that, So.
Right.
He could have easily answered it with very soft pedaling without taking a shot at the Dolphins. I don't think it was a stretch. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked it if I felt it was, putting him in a corner.
I was asked about the punter that they brought in, and should they draft one or should they sign one? and I have a strong feeling that you need to sign a veteran punter, and I think they will sign this punter or another veteran punter. And I say this because you brought back the defensive staff, you brought back the defensive team, you kept continuity all over the place, and then the only thing that was disastrous was on offense. So that you needed to fix anyway, and that's what these guys are brought in. But you wanted to make Mike McDaniel's transition really easy, not have to worry about X, not have to worry about replacing that corner spot, not have to worry about getting another pass rusher. You've got your Ogba, all that stuff. Special teams coach, defensive coaches all came back, continuity. I think what will help your offensive coach also, if you're Chris Greer and company, I think it's imperative you sign a veteran punter, because if you're trying to make a run and if you're trying to win now, you can't go through the bumps and bruises of a young punter that's never been in the league. So what do you say? Should the Dolphins at this point, considering you're here to fix the offense, you know what? Give them even more, at least, comfort zone. Give them a veteran punter. What do you say about that?
Totally fair. And Morstead's a very good punter. I mean, he's been a good punter for a very long time. And if I'm not mistaken, not that the Dolphins need a kickoff guy, but if something ever happens to Jason Sanders, I believe Morstead has kickoff experience.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's good.
I'll have to double check, but for some reason I seem to recall seeing him doing kickoffs.
I think Tua can do it too, by the way, just so you know.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with that at all.
You can't argue the greatness of Tua, bro. He does it all.
Absolutely. Can do it all. No, but Morstead's a very, very good punter. I'm actually surprised he's still out there. And again, unless he's completely unreasonable in his demands, which I don't see why he would be, considering he's looking for a team. It makes perfect sense. The kid from San Diego State, Matt Araiza, is really interesting and all that, and it's somebody who can bring excitement.
But are you going to use your only third or fourth round pick on him?
No, this is what I'm saying. But if he's there if by a miracle he's there in the 7th round, yeah, you could justify taking him there. I wouldn't take him in the 3rd or the 4th.
Right.
And my best guess is he goes probably in 4th or 5th would be my thought. And there are some punters who have gone in the 3rd, and there was once upon a time one in the 1st and one in the 2nd.
Right? Shane Leckler in the 2nd, right? Wasn't it Seabass in the 1st and Leckler in the 2nd?
Correct. Todd Sauerbrunn came in the 2nd. Russell Ertz-Laban, if we go way back, first round pick.
Yeah.
So it's been done before.
Yeah, the juicer might have lasted in this league, but that was too much. What was I going to ask you now about the Dolphins? I forgot that I was going to ask you something now that I'm brain farting and forgot about it. Damn
it.
Oh, yes.
So,
and I can ask you this because I know I have incredible respect for your draft knowledge. Has your geek ass self gotten ready already for the 4th and 5th rounds, where linebacker, defensive tackle, offensive line, guard, and running back are all positions that are going to be available with that 3rd and 4th pick? I know it's a lot harder for us right now because we haven't had the first couple of rounds to know who the hell is left over, but the Dolphins will have opportunities at some pretty decent players at those 4 specific positions if they're looking for it in the 3rd or 4th rounds.
Correct. And the answer to your question is no, I have not begun the deep dive. It's like without a 1st or a 2nd round pick, I'm going to delay this. So
me too.
No, I did check like a big board type of thing to see which players might fall. And then there's a lot of disparity. I mean, I wrote yesterday about Alec Lindstrom, the center from Boston College, who obviously has got total familiarity with Matt Applebaum in the system. And then
the other guy's the stud, the guard.
Right, but you're not getting Zion Johnson. And Lindstrom is like, I've seen as early as late 2nd round or 7th round for him. So he's like,
yeah, my guys say he's not that early. He's more of a 4th or 5th rounder. That's what they say. I don't know about that.
But there you go. For maybe the 4th round pick could be a possibility. That could be one way to go. They kind of like softened the need for a defensive tackle today when they re-signed John Jenkins
Oh, that's right.
Becoming number 8. I did the calculations. Number 8th player they re-signed on defense as a free agent this offseason. That's
continuity, bro.
That is crazy.
I'm telling you, they don't want McDaniel to have to worry about anything
correct.
on those. That's why I think the punter is going to get signed. I really feel like they have to sign a veteran punter because you just can't. Rookies, you just don't know what the hell a rookie's going to do. You don't want to count on that. You don't want it to be a disaster. So to me, that's what's going to end up happening. By the way, have you heard anything there on that meeting with the punter?
No, other than he was meeting with them yesterday. I would think if it's going to get done, it wouldn't take too long. I mean, it's not like Dolphins need a whole lot of thinking about it. I mean, and again, unless he's completely unreasonable with his demands because he's been in the league for so long, there's no reason not to sign him personally. I'm completely with you there.
All right, what are you working on SI so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, I did this morning the story about Jenkins re-signing and all that, and I'm going to look at historically, and I've already begun a lot of the research of those years when the Dolphins returned a lot of starters on defense, and as well as those years when they were really good on defense, how much familiarity and continuity as much as familiarity played a role in that. And there's some interesting things to be gleaned from that.
And I think it's very interesting to have that kind of continuity. I think I'm not good with the human Jenga stuff. That's kind of stuff that I don't like that the Dolphins have done for many, many years. But in this case, I completely understand what you're trying to do because really there weren't major problems on the other two phases. It's really one phase that you had this major problem and major setback, which is offense. So
they weren't very good on special teams last year, though, if we're going to be honest.
They weren't
horrible, but they weren't
terrible. You can improve. You can tweak that. Special teams is not one of those units that takes you sometimes a whole year or 2 years to kind of figure it out if you've made changes and all that. Special teams, you can do all right. Now, it doesn't help that you trade the greatest returner in the game right now. I mean,
that's a good point.
That's just it's not good, but it is what
Say his name. Say his name.
Say it. Team Grant, baby. The dream is here.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, and here's the other thing too is, and then I can't do the research. It would take me 5 hours, but I don't know if there's ever been in the NFL a team that has re-signed so many free agents on one side of the ball as the Dolphins have done with their defense this year. I mean, it's 8 of them. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I like it.
No, and as I wrote, there's still 3 out there, and like Vince Beagle, Jason McCourty, and Jamal Perry are still free agents. And
if you fix the offense, that group will be even better this year. So that's what I'm hoping for.
That's the hope.
See what happens. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupard NFL and catch his work there at Sports Illustrated every day if you're a Dolphin fan anywhere in the world. Alan, as always, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Have a good weekend, my man.
Thank you, sir. You have a fantastic weekend. All right, let's get ready for hour number 3 here on the program. Give us a minute. Hour number 3 is next right here on the Big O Radio Show.
This has been the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report with Alan Poupard, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and never miss a report. Search Big O Radio Show on most platforms. Visit Sports Grill in our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza. When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Sports Grill. Good food, good drinks, good friends. Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealership in the Southeast United States. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department. The FLPD is hiring. Go to FLPDjobs.com.
The Big O Radio Show originates from the OK Coin Studios. OK Coin is one of the largest fiat to crypto trading platforms in the world. Founded in 2013, OK Coin offers advanced features for crypto beginners and high-volume traders alike, enabling users in 184 countries worldwide. The Big O Radio Show is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley from the OK Coin Studios. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Number 3 right here at Hialeah Park. Sean Stanley mastering the program, and now joining us, very kind to join us, Officer Ileana Torres of the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. Officer Torres, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Very good. Can't complain. So talk to me a little bit about being an officer. When did you get the bug, Ileana? Do you remember that moment that you said, this is what I want to do with my life?
Yeah, growing up, you see officers, and back then, it was a thing to do. Officers were everybody's hero. So my dad was an officer, and I have a lot of family in law enforcement. My brother's in law enforcement. So I kind of grew up in that atmosphere, and ever since I was young, I knew that I wanted to become a police officer. That was it.
That is so cool. What would you tell other young girls that are out there? How would you inspire them about choosing this path and servicing our community the way officers do?
I just want to emphasize that females do have a place in this workplace. I know officers are primarily male dominant. It is what it is, but females definitely have their place. And I think departments are starting to see that now, that females can be just as assertive, but also having that calming effect that helps out a lot on different scenes and being able to talk to people. So I do think that, it is important that we have more females join our force, because we have a lot of say, and we have a lot of power in doing what we do.
Well, Ileana, I mean, any of us that are married, most of us that are married, we kind of know that our wives usually are the ones to make the better decisions.
Exactly. We're the more
on a consistent basis, those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? So usually they're the ones that save our butts from actually getting in any kind of trouble, because they think more logically than we do. You know what I'm saying?
We're a little more level.
I'm going to say, and I'm going to say on average, okay? I'm not going to.
Yes,
on average.
Usually the females on the shift are like the moms of the shift, and we kind of, keep everybody grounded.
What's the biggest challenge for a female officer?
Biggest challenge, I would say, is just being able to show your place and being assertive without coming off like, I guess, extra, as one would say. But we kind of have to prove ourselves a little bit more, and getting people to kind of listen to us and take me seriously versus a male officer who's big buff,
Right.
So I think that would be the biggest challenge, is just being able to, be assertive, show your place as a female, and, kind of taking control of things.
Yeah, the authority part, right?
Yeah.
That's almost that threshold that you have to cross, and they have to understand.
Yes,
correct?
Absolutely.
It's kind of a what and Officer Ileana Torres joining us here from the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. What is the most satisfying thing you do in your job?
Most satisfying thing for me is just getting that, like when you're talking to people, a lot of the times they're like, oh, well, I didn't know that I could just talk to an officer, So being open to the public and to my community and kind of giving just an ear for them to talk to, a lot of the times that's really all they need. So to me, that's the most satisfying part, is just being able to have conversation with people. Like I'm a normal person, not take off the badge, take off the vest. And I'm there to talk. And it's kind of like, my degree in psychology steps in and takes like a big part of it. But that to me is the most satisfying part, is just being there for people. And, they kind of see like, oh, I didn't know that there was this side of police work. It's not always catching bad guys, it's also being able to talk to someone when, they're having their worst day.
Well, and in talking to someone, and I've mentioned this before with some of the other officers that we've had on in the past, is I think that all police departments need to get back to officers talking to the kids in their neighborhoods of their districts and in their parks and all those things. Because, when growing up in Arbondale back in Miami, in Little Havana, we had our own officer that would come by and hang out, and he would stop, and then we'd all go over to the car and BS with him, and then and then he'd leave, and it was just one of those things that threshold was crossed, where we at least were able to treat him as a friend, almost, pretty much, and then he ends up caring more about us, actually. He gets to know about us, you know what I mean?
Yes, that's how it
So
works.
he starts looking out for us. So I think that element, I don't know, but it seems to have died out, and we need to bring it back.
It is a little harder. So like you said, I work for Fort Lauderdale. It's a really big city. We always have stuff going on, Tortuga, spring break, everything. So we're kind of spinning
buses running right into your
crazy.
parking lot, and
yes.
yes.
The stuff that you see in movies or on Law and Order is basically what Fort Lauderdale is. So I think we've kind of gotten away with it because we're always running on 4 cylinders, going at speed 100, trying to answer calls, get work done. But I will say with Fort Lauderdale, we did create a new unit. So it's the Community Violence Reduction Unit, which I'm a part of. And with that, our focus is connecting with the community. So every Thursday we go to Carter Park and we play basketball with the kids for an hour or two. Or some of the guys in our unit, they go and read to kids. It's little things that we do. So we're still a proactive unit. They have us, going to hot calls or a priority response team per se. But it does allow us to also kind of step back from going speed 100 and being able to connect with our community, talking to kids. Some of the fellas just went to I forgot the acronym for it, but it was a dance for young females who don't have a father figure. So they went in place of their father figure.
That's very cool.
To the father-daughter dance. And so I think we are trying to prioritize that, especially with the new unit being in place. And I think that's going to help with what we kind of got away from, especially in Fort Lauderdale being so busy. So I'm very excited about this unit.
One of the things that I would say for an officer, maybe they can laugh at it after. During, while it's going on, it's probably not funny. Funny to us, by the way. And that's lying. And you guys are obviously the best at knowing when people are lying because they lie to you all day long.
Oh yeah, we're professional lie detectors. That's what we are.
Yes. So since they do it all day long, so Officer Ileana Torres, give us the funniest lie somebody tried to pass on you to avoid a ticket.
So avoid a ticket. Well, personally, I don't write many tickets, so they haven't needed to lie to me too often.
Okay, for anything, the funniest lie to get out of trouble, which is what did Officer Torres hear, and maybe it even made you kind of smile or smirk a little bit that you're like, are you really telling me this?
So a lot of the times it's for speeding, right? And I'm in a fully marked Tahoe. Like, you can't miss me. I have big lights on my car, Fort Lauderdale written down the side. It's big. It's a big Tahoe. Everybody knows what a police car looks like. So I pulled someone over for speeding. They would tell me that they thought that I was a bad guy trying to rob them and chase them in their vehicle. So they sped up and tried to go and lose me, per se. So that, to me, that's like the funniest thing, because like you can't miss my Tahoe. Like I get it if I was in like a Ford Fusion, but a Tahoe with big red and blue lights, I'm not necessarily trying to rob you for anything. Yeah. But to me, that's just the fun. It happens actually quite often. That's a lot of people's, go-to lie, per se.
Wow. That's funny. So they think that you're the bad guy. And so, no, I thought you guys were the bad guy. So I had to speed up.
I thought someone was chasing me, so they're going to rob me for my car. So I just kept going.
But you sped by me before I actually chased you.
Yeah. You didn't see the big Fort Lauderdale. Well, I saw that, but I just didn't think I didn't think you were a real cop. I'm like, okay. The things that people come up with are hilarious.
Yeah, I would imagine that. What is there a crazy lie you've heard? Is there one that like it was like that it was too crazy to believe?
No,
you haven't had one of those
nothing's
yet?
too crazy for me anymore. Being with all the things that I've heard, but nothing too crazy where it's like half the things that people say to make up don't make sense because they're so nervous and they're kind of just rambling and saying whatever comes out of their mouth. But nothing too crazy that I'm like, all right, But half the time, I like I said, I don't write too many tickets. I try to cut people a break, give them that little warning. At least I stop them, tell them to slow down, but nothing too crazy.
All right, you're a college softball athlete, correct?
Stony Brook, yes.
All right, where did you play?
Stony Brook University. It's in Long Island.
Okay, in Long Island. All right, we were actually in Long Island 2 months ago over there at
it's
Slomin's Home Security. That's their home base, and we were up there in Long Island actually.
It's probably freezing. So
yes. It was Sean actually was hanging out in a t-shirt in New York, and he's a South Florida guy. I on the other hand had 3 shirts and a jacket on. So
always layered up. I thought
I was super layered.
My goal growing up was to go to New York to play softball. My first year there, it was great. I love the snow because I'm from like Florida, so we don't see snow ever. So I'm like, oh, the snow is great. The first month it was great, and then winter really hit, like January winter, and I was miserable. For 4 years of my life, I was scraping ice off the windshield of my car with a paper plate because I'm in college. I don't have a snow scraper. Like I had a paper plate and I'm scraping off snow. My hands are freezing. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm late to practice. It was the worst, but the best 4 years of my life. I'll tell you that. But I'm happy to be back in Florida where it is a solid 80 degrees.
So are there any similarities in college softball to what you do now?
Teamwork is a big thing. I know it's cliche, but being in sports, obviously you need to work well with others despite their different beliefs. I think the same way in police work, because there's other officers with many different beliefs coming from many different backgrounds that I have to work with at the end of the day to get home safely. I also consider teamwork with my community. So just even on a traffic stop, just working with the person that I did the traffic stop with to try to accommodate them, to keep them calm and let the traffic stop go smoothly. So I think that working in a team growing up playing softball definitely leads over into police work with just being able to work well with others in general with different beliefs and different backgrounds.
To be an athlete and to play sports like you do, you had to have a certain level of mental toughness.
Yes.
Because obviously, failure is very common in our lives. We all fail. You're learning how to sew. You fail a bunch of times until you learn how to do it. You learn how to be a bartender. Well, you're going to make some shitty drinks first of all, and then you'll start making some good ones. You got to learn to be an artist. You got to learn to be, all those kind of things, the adjustment to all of that and the mental toughness that you have to play softball is one. Explain to me how it changes besides your life being on the line every day, of course. But the mental toughness that becomes to be an officer every day, all of a sudden,
So
obviously you had to take it to another level to do what
yes,
you're doing.
absolutely. Absolutely. So softball in itself is a big mental sport. You lose a lot more than you win. So, and a batting percentage, if you bat 400, right, that means you got 4 hits out of 10 at bats. You're losing more often than you're not, but it's still decent. All right. So a 400 batting average is pretty good. So that kind of trained my mental toughness, like not to let things get personal, to kind of keep pushing, know your goal, celebrate your little successes, right? Celebrate those 4 hits that you got to get your 400 batting average out of the 10. So that definitely kind of guided me growing up with my mental toughness. Like you said, it's definitely on a different level with police work, because we do see a lot. We see a lot more than the average person.
And by the way, you can't fail 6 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. You can't fail at all in police work. Otherwise, that's your life or your job. So mental toughness is definitely a big thing in police work. Just being able to not, again, take things personal, because people say a lot of things. And I don't think they mean it towards me. Maybe I'm naive. I think they mean it towards the badge or the situation that they're involved in. So it was a big learning curve, especially being a new in police work, was learning not to take things personal. If people tell me this, that, or the other, that's kind of like, wow, that kind of hurt my feelings. Like, you can't take it personally, kind of brush it off, because again, they're having their worst day of their life, right? They're not showing up to work when all this chaos is going on. It's not just a normal day for them. So I know their stress level is up here. And then you add on a police officer and everything else that's involved with a chaotic scene, they don't really mean it towards me personally. They mean it towards the badge or what they're going through. So mental toughness definitely is a big, big, important thing in police work, and kind of being able to let go. When you're home, letting go of the things that happened at work and having that relief at home or stuff like that. So to me, my mental toughness helps when I go to the gym or I go on long runs, because that is how I kind of let my stress go, and it just keeps me calm and grounded out at home.
Well, if you want to join Ileana Torres on the staff, on the police force, FLPD.com. They are hiring. Go to the website of the Fort Lauderdale Police Department if you want to find out more. Of course, FLPD jobs. FLPD jobs, actually. I'm sorry. I think I said FLPD.com. It's FLPDjobs.com. You can also find out there to join the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. Ileana, thank you for taking some time, man.
Thank you.
Excellent
you for
interview.
having me. Appreciate it very much.
Looking forward to doing it again. And you be
course.
safe out there. And thank you for everything you do for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great night and be safe.
You got it. There you go. Officer Ileana Torres joining us here of the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, FLPDjobs.com. They are hiring, folks. Make sure you check it out. By the way, 1-800-SLOMINS. That's right, 1-800-ALARM-ME, 1-800-ALARM-ME for the Slomins Shield. If you want to protect your home, protect your business, 1-800-ALARM-ME. Right now, the first 40 Big O listeners, we're going to give you a free doorbell camera. Right now, 1-800-ALARM-ME. It connects to your smartphone. And, of course, it also goes with our professional installation. When you use our low-cost central station monitoring, you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. But most of all, peace of mind. That's what I love about my Slomin Shield, using it every day. I've got the peace of mind. I know everything that's going on. I know if a car passes by in front of my house. I know if somebody's at the door, all of those things. And I've got a camera inside so I can keep track of my dogs, right? Because I've got like 5 dogs in the house, so they're running around. So I got to make sure everything's all right inside. And that's why the Slomin Shield is so important. It's important because of the peace of mind. It's important because maybe you've got an important package that's coming and you want to know when it arrives, and you can tell a delivery person to put it in a specific spot, those kind of things. Maybe you're on your way home. That happened to me. I told you a couple weeks ago. I was on the way home. I ordered my Uber Eats. The person got there like 3 minutes before I did. And I said, do me a favor, leave it over here on the right side. They did. Boom. Got there, got my meal, walked in, had my dinner. I was done. Things like that. The other day, I told you about it also. It was last Saturday. Not this Saturday, last Saturday. Some annoying salesperson was at the door, which, again, I was kind of freaking out. They're still doing that stuff. Anyway, so somebody was at the door that I had no idea who the hell they are, and they're ringing the doorbell. I'm looking at the doorbell camera, and guess what? I had no interest in talking to that person. I stayed watching television and let my 2 dogs on the other side of the door bark their heads off. That's it. That's how you do it. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME for your Slomin's home shield. What do we got there?
DJ Gallagher struck again.
He struck again. Thank you, DJ Gallagher. I appreciate you, brother.
You got me a WWF.
Oh, this is awesome. That is awesome. He brought Sean a WWF handheld game. He brought me a Gallagher, and I have it there in the studio.
Send me the note.
Oh, that is awesome. There you go. The logo, baby. Love it. That is awesome. And you put from DJ Gallagher.
Yep.
That is great. DJ Gallagher, you're a class act, man.
Always.
You're a class act. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Couple things. I was following Twitter here, so I got a couple things. I just want to ask you.
Okay.
With what they're doing. Joe Shad was talking about analyst Chris Canty on Get Up, kind of going over what we were talking about a minute ago. His words on Tua. Bro, if you can't get it done with this squad, then you're just not the guy.
Okay. All right.
But I mean, it's gearing up, right?
Yeah. That's what. No, they're loading up. They're dying to jump on the kid. Yes.
And then now this was from Barry Jackson earlier on about an hour ago. This has to do with
but Barry's pro Tua.
No. This is actually Miami Hurricanes practice. This is 2 different topics I wanted to go over.
Because I think Barry's a pro Tua guy.
No, Barry is.
Actually,
yes,
I think.
At least the articles I've seen have been pretty much.
Yeah.
Mario Cristobal stopped practice today because some things, including tempo and player speed between drills, were not to his standards. Practice resumed after a stern, loud address from Mario. Unlike past years, nothing is allowed to slide this year.
All right, there you go. Yeah, bro. Slackers don't survive in this world, bro. Unless you're rich and mommy or daddy can, carry you or something, but, you got some inheritance or something, but slackers don't survive in this world. That's just the way it is. Get swallowed up.
And the Tiger update through 4 holes, he's still even.
That's
and
really
the lead
good.
Now is -2.
So he's only 2 shots back.
So he's 2 shots back, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's really good. So far, it's only 4 holes.
Through 4 holes.
He's got 14 more to go.
Yeah.
It's a lot of walking and a lot of stress on that lower part of his body. So hopefully it works out for him, man. Would be good. James Cook, who averaged 6.4 yards per carry in Georgia's national championship season last year, will be among those working with the Dolphins at the facilities tomorrow per his agent. That's what John R. is putting. Listen, I've talked about Cook. He's going to be in the 3rd, 4th round. That's the guy that's there in the 3rd and 4th round. James Cook is one of those guys. So that's one of those picks. The problem is, we're going to be in Vegas for the draft. We'll be doing all 3 nights. I know the first night will be very slow because there are no picks for the Dolphins, but we'll have some fun. You never know. These guys may trade in. But the second day, in that 3rd round, there's going to be an opportunity for a guard, a center, a defensive tackle, a running back, and a middle linebacker. Those positions, there's enough depth that there's going to be some decent players that are going to fall to the 3rd, 4th, and even into the 5th round. Not that Miami has a 5th, but they do have the 3rd, the 4th, and then the 2 7s. So they will have an opportunity there. And Cook is one of those kind of guys that's going to be available and fits what they do. And I can see them drafting a running back this year to kind of groom behind the young guy, but behind the older guys, and he can learn from them, and then they'll cut one of those 2, which I think it would be Mostert. They'll keep Chase. That's kind of what it looks like, because Mostert is on the 1-year deal and Chase is on the multi-year deal. So I would imagine that Mostert's the guy that gets cut, and then the rookie takes his slot the following year. that if you see a running back picked in the 3rd or 4th round, that will be the plan for that running back to become the guy next year, or not the guy, or share with Chase. Chase fits this scheme perfectly. Dolphin fans are going to love Chase because he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Good player, man. Good football player. Let's see, what else do we have here on I don't know if I missed anything here. Did I miss any super chats? No. Oh, by the way, you can get in on the Welton Rheaume text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. What do we have there, Sean? What are you
This is from Adam Schefter. It says, breaking, former Cardinals head coach Steve Wilks and former defensive coordinator Ray Horton.
Oh, they joined the lawsuit?
Joined Brian Flores' race discrimination class action lawsuit against the NFL and various teams.
Okay, so Ray Horton has no chance of getting hired anyway. And the other guy? Steve Wilks is the guy that was
former Cardinals.
Yeah. Another guy that has no shot at getting hired. So why not? Okay. All right. I'd like to see somebody that's prominent. Join it. Orlando, this is on the Welton Rheaume text line, 855-912-1056. If you have something, you can send it in. Orlando, I don't think I see what you did there, taking up for your boy Sean, mentioning how freezing weather don't even bother tough men. Sean is a polo shirt. Nice work. Sean's got a good wingman there. Now it's your turn, Sean. Make a move. Speed past the Tahoe after a workout and get busted.
I'm set, my man.
Big O, did you see and hear Dominic Foxworth's talking facts, making sense about Tua? That's what you told me about. That was
the one. Said
I read it before.
You're gonna take a look at it.
And we're not gonna play it here because then did they ding us, by the way, for any of that stuff? What did they ding us?
Ding? No, just
for what
we had to.
For which one did we get dinged for?
The one we did yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before. Oh, what was it?
For that little piece that I used?
Yeah.
We got dinged? That's funny.
Just the 10, 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
That's amazing, dude. They are ruthless on Twitter.
I think it goes with how many subscribers. Again, we're growing daily, so now it's not. I think the smaller channels could get away with it. Whereas now, things that we were getting away with when we were a little bit lower on the subscription, we're not getting away with now.
Okay.
Because we used to not get hit for the 3-4 seconds. Kind of, we had a chance to cut off, and we didn't get hit. Now, as soon as we play something, we're getting hit.
All right, so they know we're violators right from the get-go. Good morning from Tuscaloosa, Big O. Alabama. I hope you guys are safe out there, man. We've had all these storms go through the southeast, and now we've got our friends in the northeast going through this bitch of a storm. He says, I've been thinking about something, and I imagine it's going to take several different kinds of sauces to change the flavor of that crow all of those Tua haters will have to eat. Mustard alone might not do the job. Your thoughts? I agree with you, my brother. But it'll be a tasty treat for the rest of us if he does actually ball out. And then watching those that doubted, humming, what's up, Big O? When you get time, check out the new Aldo Nova album. Holy crap, he's making music still? It just came out. There's about 5 kick-ass songs on it. It really surprised me. I didn't know he had anything new, but saw it on the message board. Steve in Pensacola. I'll check it out. Thank you, Steve. I'll check it out. One guy wants me. Big O, I'd like the OK coin, please. Yes. I don't know if I can send it to that on this thing here, but I will try to send you the OK coin link. I will continue. Do me a favor, that gentleman that sent me the OK coin, try to send me a DM or an email at bigradioshow@yahoo.com. I'll see if I can get it on the texting machine. I don't know if it'll allow me to put the link and everything on the texting machine, but I will try. But if you can, please DM at Big O Show on Twitter or an email, bigradioshow@yahoo.com. I believe Marcel is ready. All right. We are ready to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with Marcel Louis-Jacques from ESPN and our Miami Dolphins reports.
Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's the ESPN Dolphin insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
Yes, sir. All right, there he is, Marcel Louis-Jacques. Ready to go. There you go, looking stylish in your condo. Not bad.
That's
not
right.
bad.
That's right. Have to say the difference between condo and apartment. Found out they're not the same thing when I moved down here.
Oh yeah, no, condo is different than apartment. Yes. And some people get all pissed off. I don't live in an apartment. I live in a condo. All right, I own it, bitch. Don't tell me
if it's
rent. You know that.
I don't know if it's enough to actually make me angry.
Well,
but,
some people, they want you to know they own. All right, they own. They don't get rented. They own. You know, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like the Dolphins this year. Hopefully, they will own the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. You know, that's what they're hoping for. By the way, how far have the Jets fallen in this division? Because Miami's a 9 or 10 win team who maybe fixed their offense. The Patriots are a 9 or 10 win team right now, and the Bills are obviously the class of the division. Where the hell are the Jets, bro?
It's funny. I saw my coworker Rich Cimini talking about the wide receiver movement in the AFC East alone, and he said Buffalo re-signed Stephon Diggs to a $96 million extension. The New England traded for Devante Parker. Miami trades for Tyreek Hill, gives him $120 million extension.
And said,
New York
then
New York re-signs Braxton Berrios. So yeah, they're pretty far behind. The Jets are pretty far behind in this, and I think they're banking a lot on Zach Wilson taking a major step up in year 2. They haven't necessarily surrounded him in talent to do so through free agency. This offseason hasn't been as impressive as I think their last offseason was. Last offseason, I really liked the moves that they made with Carl Lawson.
Especially their line, but they do have a good line. Because they have some mammoth human beings on that line, bro. Holy shit.
They got 2 top 10 picks, so I wouldn't expect them to part ways with them. There's a lot of different directions that they can go. That secondary needs help one way or another. It's just a matter of do they really want to spend a top 10 pick on either Kyle Hamilton or Derek Stingley or Sauce Gardner or one of these highly touted defensive backs in this year's class. But yeah, man, the Jets are far behind. I think it's a 2.5 team race with the Bills clearly ahead, and then the Dolphins and Patriots kind of battling for second place. And, you know, I know that the Pats haven't necessarily gotten better this offseason. They haven't had the splashy moves. They haven't had the big additions. The receiver room is still weak, even with Devante Parker. But it's the Patriots, man. We've been doing this for 20-some-odd years. I don't care if it's Brady or not. Like, I didn't expect them to be a playoff team last year, and look what happened. So I'm not going to doubt Bill Belichick until it comes time to doubt Bill Belichick. Until I see that they're 2-9, you know, or they're 3-12, then I can't say die to these guys. I don't like it. I've been hating the Patriots for 20 years, man. Ever since the Tuck rule, they burned my Raiders. I haven't gotten over it yet, but I'm not ready to count them out until I see it.
Well, I think they're in third place. I think Miami will be better than the Patriots. That's just me. I think they've kind of fixed their issues and they'll move forward. Now, I asked this of what's it called, Alan Poupard, before you came on. And look, I know spring is eternal and every new season and everything's positive, everything's a good feel, all that good stuff. But watching most of the players after they've gone through the ringer and met Mike McDaniel, and yesterday X, who never says anything, all his answers to the media is usually 1 or 2 words. Even he elaborated a little bit more about the vibe in the building. Okay, I'm not saying he's made any kind of a difference, but it's clear that Mike McDaniel has made an impression on his players. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, have you watched a single one of Mike McDaniel's press conferences? He and Brian Flores are polar opposite people. I'm not going to talk about, I don't want to compare them as coaches.
Alan Poupard had a problem with this. That's why I'm just saying. I'm wondering what you're going to say. So yeah, go ahead. I want to hear this.
They are totally different people. They are totally different in terms of how they engage with players and how they interact with human beings. I don't think that it's worth getting upset about. I think it's quantifiable, like how different of an energy Mike McDaniel brings. I'm not going to sit here and pound the table and say new energy, Super Bowl team. No, but like it's a new feel. It's going to be a new feel. He's less of a totalitarian. I think he's less of a disciplinarian. I think he's less of a hard ass, I guess we could say, than Brian Flores was. He's more of a people person. He's he's more engaging. He's more personable. Like it's going to feel different. Not to mention, it's more than just Mike McDaniel. It's from the top down. The Dolphins have made it clear that the days of either letting your best players walk, cutting your best players, cutting guys who deserve to get paid, trading away guys who deserve to get paid, that is dead. It's canceled. Those days are over. They gave
send this video to Poupard, okay, Sean? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Look, they gave money to Xavier Howard when they technically didn't have to. They did in terms of he wasn't going to play if they didn't. But they technically 3 years and $40 million left on that contract, man. In no way, shape, or form is a team ever reworking a deal before this. There's a reason why David Cantor comes out and calls it an unprecedented move. They give $65 million to Emmanuel Agba. They did franchise tag Mike Gesicki, but I mean, they still want him. They're still going to pay him. There's more disrespectful things than paying people $10 million. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think that should be taken as a slight. They bring back everybody on defense. They retain this defensive staff minus Gerald Alexander and Burks. But, they sent a pretty clear message that, like, you do your job, you're going to get rewarded for it. And that goes a long way in an NFL locker room.
I'm glad you just saw the same thing I see. It's just you can tell that he is a different dude, and they see it. That it's like, wow, dude, I had an ogre for the last year or two, and now this guy comes in and wow, holy crap, he's like a human being that talks and stuff. And so I just all right. I just want to make sure that.
And just to be clear, man, like I'm not saying that new energy means new results. Like new energy doesn't necessarily have to mean Super Bowl contender, playoff team, automatic 12 wins. No, but like, yes, it's a different feel for. We felt a different energy, and he doesn't have to be nice to us. We don't matter to him.
I know,
he gave
but
us ice cream. At least, like, come on, Brian never did that. It's a different.
But you're getting to talk to all these players. I'm getting to also see them on video, all these conversations, and it's not just the two guys yesterday. It's every one of them almost. When you guys ask them about Mike McDaniel and all that, there's a comment, their face lights up, there's a smile. He's a cool dude. I heard one guy say, and it's like, that's not the kind of crap you normally hear from players. So I'm just saying, impressions, successful so far, at least. Now, does that lead to difference? Well, we'll find out, right? You know what I mean? So
yeah, like it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter right now. Right. They're running around. They're tracking speed. They're tracking conditioning. Like they're doing minor classroom install. The football hasn't started yet. Let's talk again about the new energy and the new field when the football starts. Like I'm guessing that Poupard's point was somewhere in that ballpark. Let's talk about this when the football starts.
Right, and I kept telling him. But when he would bring something up like that, I said, dude, I'm not talking about a difference. I'm talking about an impression. That's all I'm saying, impression. And I think he's made that impression right now. By the way, the talk was that X wouldn't be here because he normally isn't here for these voluntary things. So I guess the impression and the money, he's here.
It is a different feel, man, in that they are actively ready to contend. Like they actively want to contend. If you look at X's time here, dating back to 2016, the Gase era was, they're middling at best. Then 2019, blow up. 2020 was not, they weren't supposed to be good. They were a little ahead of schedule. 2021 was, okay, let's see how close we can get to the playoffs in terms of how like a 5-year plan is supposed to go. That third year is like, okay, like, we've got our roster in place. We've got most of our own people here. You should have shed your salary by now. Now it's time to see like what you can actually do. But this is supposed to be, by any metric, year 4 of a quote unquote rebuild is supposed to be, all right, you're ready to make some noise. And I know it's a different coach, so you can't technically call it the same part of the rebuild, but the way I see it is it's the same rebuild with a different guy in charge. You know, it's not like they're starting over with the new coach. They're saying new coach, but let's keep on this. Let's change the trajectory a little bit, not necessarily the level of where we're at. So they're supposed to contend this year, and they're spending the money to prove that. More than 300. I did the math today. More than $380 million worth of contracts that they've committed to this offseason. I know it's not all guaranteed. I know they're probably not even going to pay anywhere near all of that, but that's still almost $400 million that they have committed to new players or their own guys this offseason. And I don't even think that's counting Gesicki's franchise tag. So they are serious about wanting to contend. They are serious about, wanting to get out of that AFC cellar. And it's going to be a nightmare. This conference is very good. It got a hell of a lot better this offseason. But they're saying, look, if we can improve the offense to what we know Mike McDaniel's got in his resume, in his arsenal, his repertoire, and this defense plays like second half defense last year, then the Dolphins should be a playoff team. And that's good enough. It should be good enough to win a playoff game, man. Defense wins. Defense wins come the postseason. So, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. There's still so much time. We have an entire draft. We've got offseason practice, got training camp.
Lots of things. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, but so many things can happen.
Don't get ahead of yourself. But saying that, did you make your reservations for an Arizona flight and hotel for the Super Bowl? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so listen. All right, so I couldn't get Poupard to agree with me like you did on impression, but I did get him to agree with me on this. So now the question is, will you agree with me on this? So everybody's talking about that the Dolphins need a punter, which of course they need a punter. They got a veteran punter coming in now for a visit. Everybody's talking about, obviously, the San Diego State kid, and they've got a 3rd and 4th rounder, and he's probably going to go 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, they say, whatever, which is ridiculous to take him in my eyes. But your MO the entire offseason has been continuity on defense, continuity on special teams as much as possible, and let's fix the mess that is offense, right? Well, if that's your thing, then you can't go drafting a rookie punter, bro. If you don't want Mike McDaniel to worry about X leaving and then have to fill that spot, or Agba leaving and having to fill that spot, or the coaching staff on the defensive side, or any of this stuff, you allowed Mike McDaniel to come in and have to only worry about the offense. So if that's the case, and you're the Dolphins and you're making a run like you just said now, you have to sign a veteran punter. There's no way you draft a rookie and put him in this position because he could cost you the season. So you have to go veteran, yes or no?
It would be a massive gamble. I see a high risk, high reward for it, because if he is as good in the NFL as he was in college, then you got a field flipper. You got a guy who will automatically put your defense in an advantageous position every time he touches the football. Then that can't be understated. So, when I'm it's like that TikTok when this girl's trying kombucha. She's like, well, I can talk myself into it if he is that good. But the thing is, if he gets the yips in the league, like what's his name out of Florida State?
Punters, kickers, especially kickers, but even punters they can go awry on you, and then you wasted a high pick on them. And if you're making a run, this punter here you got coming in town is a really damn good punter, bro. How do you not sign that guy? I think if you want Mike McDaniel to succeed, and you're Chris Greer and you're Marvin Allen and you're Reggie McKenzie, it behooves you, dude. You have to sign a veteran punter. That's just
Morstead would be good, but I mean, Pilardi wasn't a bad punter when they brought him in. Like I covered him in Carolina.
But Morstead is better. Yeah,
Morstead is better. That's probably the safer move. It's probably the smarter move to do. Yeah. I don't know. It depends on how the board falls. Like I've said all along, I think that they're in position to go BPA no matter the position at this point, come the draft weekend. I'm having a tough time talking myself into a punter in the third round. But if he's still there in the fourth, the fifth, I don't think they have a fourth. So
no, they don't. They don't have a
he's
fifth.
there in the fifth.
They have a fourth. They don't have a fifth. They have the third, the fourth.
None of these late round picks matter. But if he's there on one of those, if he's there in one of these mid to late rounds, then anything after 3, I could be talked into it. The later, of course, the easier it will be to talk myself into it or to be convinced that this is an okay move. But no, I mean, Morstead, if he comes in here, hey, does your leg work? Can you catch a ball? Then cool. Can you catch a snap? Not even like, can you catch a pass? Can you catch a snap? Can you throw it in an emergency? All right, tight. Sign him, lock it up, and let's keep pushing.
How do folks get the edge on the Dolphins on ESPN? What are you working on?
I've got something that should drop, I believe, tomorrow, depending on how quickly we can get this edited. Just kind of recapping the state of the Dolphins offseason. Like I've said before, the message that this front office and this ownership group and this coaching staff has sent to its fan base and the team. Still got that feature. I know I've been teasing it for a couple of weeks now, and that's just kind of like nature of the offseason. When they're evergreen, sometimes things get pushed back and move up and so on and so forth. But that's coming up soon. We've got – I can't say exactly what access that we're getting here throughout this offseason workout program, but we're getting it. We'll get Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel before the draft as well. We're going to have some interesting storylines coming out of that. But, yeah, man, just keep it posting. I know it's a little – it's a, calm before the storm here as we got the draft coming up in 2 weeks. But storm's coming, and I'll be there for it.
Appreciate you as always. Have a fantastic weekend, Marcel. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Marcel_LJ. And catch his work there at ESPN and catch him twice a week here doing his thing with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins reports. Marcel, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. There you go. You now have the edge.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
We back. We got a Tiger update?
We do. He is now 1 under. And,
wow.
He's currently going to the 6th hole.
Way better.
Looks like he's going to par here and keep it at 1 under.
Damn. Nice job by...
Be updated, but he's going along.
Nice job by Tiger. Let me see. I saw some text here. Vegas has Miami 8.5 wins. I am going... I'm betting that at the end of the month here, when I go to Vegas, I'm betting the over on the Dolphins. Definitely betting the over on the Dolphins. For sure. Don't forget, folks, to smash the like button. And by the way, I did try to send that gentleman the link on the text, and I was right. The link doesn't go through. It doesn't allow the link itself. So you have to send me an email or a DM, and then I'll send you that there. Okay, and we can share $100 in Bitcoin. You can get $50 free of Bitcoin and do it now. So there's a nice little dippy going on right here. Take advantage. Let's see, what else do we have? I know somebody sent me something that I freaked out on. Oh, yeah, here it is. Steve Seitzer says, hello, Big O from Beirut, Lebanon. Damn, dude. Holy moly. Thank you, sir, for checking us out all the way from Beirut, Lebanon. You are watching the show. It's a beautiful thing. And to do Big O, I listened to you in Ocala, but I'm visiting my mom in Hialeah, in Hialeah Intelligence. What time are you at the track today with the show? I'm here till about 1:30, I would imagine. Something like that. Maybe not even that late, but yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here at least at 1:30, picking up everything and all that stuff. So yeah, probably 1:30 makes about sense. Eric Storm says, Bills worried Tre'Davious Wright may not be ready till midseason and never be as good again. After losing Levi Wallace, they are super thin at corner. Great safeties, Poyer and Hyde. Well, boys have got a lot of work to do. Take care of business, and then we'll see what happens with the Bills. Oh, which are you more excited for this season, the Canes or the Fins? Who do you think has the better season? Well, I think the Canes have the better shot at going deeper in the college playoffs because they've got a quarterback and they've got a much better coaching staff now. They've had enough transfers that I think they can have a good enough team that they can even win the ACC and get into the playoffs. Because I don't think Clemson's as strong as they've been in the past. And I'm still not convinced that their quarterback situation is all solved either. You know? What are you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I think also the fact that the ACC is not that tough of a division or a conference. However you want to look at it. Yeah,
it's another crappy conference is what I call it.
Compared to what the Dolphins have to go through to try.
No, I think the Canes, but I'm excited. I'm not taking the excitement out of either, man. I am really excited about the Dolphins and the direction that they're headed in. And I'm incredibly excited about what Mario Cristobal is doing. He's got all the resources he needs to succeed. You know, the same thing for Tua goes for Mario Cristobal, by the way. No excuses. All right. You know, it's easy for people to say it with Tua. I hope you're saying it also with Mario Cristobal. And I'm a Mario Cristobal fan. Been a Mario Cristobal fan from the get-go. Hated to even see him leave FIU, actually. And FIU fans should be pissed about that. But he's got no excuses either. He's got everything he needs. Coaching staff, budget. He now has to be the difference, just like Mike McDaniel. You know, Mike McDaniel has no excuses. He was given a good defense already. It's his job to fix the offense. Tua has no excuses, right? Same thing. Chris Greer, right, has no excuses. Spo has no excuses. Pat Riley has no excuses. Yes?
It should just be South Florida sports.
That's it. No excuses. That's it. Inter Miami, well, we got a lot of excuses.
Sorry. Forgot about that.
Miami Marlins, we got excuses.
Yeah.
By the way, today's opening day.
It is. They start tomorrow night.
Not for us, but yeah. But everybody else.
Actually,
well, not everybody else, but others.
2:20, I think, is the first game today.
Yeah, the Yankee Red Sox game already got postponed.
Yeah, 2 games got postponed.
2 games, yeah. 2 games. And Yankees Red Sox is like the one you don't want postponed. Because it's not that I care about either, but that's one of the best rivalries in sports, man.
And on opening day.
Opening day, it's great. It's great. You gotta, those two fan bases just can't stand each other. It's awesome. Eric Storm says no excuses for Justin Herbert this year. Chargers are loaded now with J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack added to the defense. No, Eric, they'll make plenty of excuses for him. Of course, he's fantastic. He's the greatest, even though he can't win more games than Tua or beat Tua or get in the playoffs. But he's the greatest. Even though he's got a better offense, better coaching staff, better running game, better offensive line. But,
Do they play Texans this year?
No, that'll be a break.
Yeah, he's got a break.
That'll be a break. Yeah, because he choked against the Texans last year. That's for damn sure. Let's see. What's considered a successful season for UM this year, Big O? I would say getting to the ACC championship game is a successful season. Winning it would be absolutely phenomenal. But at least in his first year, he has to win the Coastal and get to the ACC. That's the least amount that I will accept as a successful season. Okay? I think they can win the ACC and beat Clemson. But at least you better win the Coastal and you better be in the ACC championship game. That's the worst the University of Miami can do, because that's progress in itself for them. They've never won the Coastal, right? I don't think so, right? They've never won the Coastal, right? So winning the Coastal and getting to the they've never been to the you blocked them already. They've never been to the ACC championship game, right? So there you go. So if they've never been to the ACC championship game, they've never won the Coastal, win the Coastal and get to the ACC championship game. And if you win it, then it becomes now you start to play with house money, in other words. Yes.
Doesn't that say a lot about where the program was?
Oh, right. It's garbage.
Like, have they won the ACC? It's like,
garbage. The Larinaga has done what's harder to do than what the football program does, because the ACC is nothing in football, but in basketball, it's the monster, and yet he's won the ACC and the ACC tournament. He's won both. Okay, and the football team can't even do the same thing. It's garbage. Yeah. So just get me to the ACC championship game at least. We got over 300 people right now watching. Please smash the like button. Is it unrealistic to demand from Mario Cristobal to win the Coastal and be in the ACC championship game? Is that unrealistic? Is it unrealistic to demand a playoff appearance by Mike McDaniel or an ACC championship appearance by Mario Cristobal? Are both realistic, or is one unrealistic to expect? You tell me on the chat board. Yes, sir.
No, I was just trying to think like unrealistic, but I don't think.
No.
Me personally, I don't think either one is unrealistic, because
I think both are very
Mario
realistic.
Has, got TVD. Again, if you come to a program and there's no quarterback and
right, then I wouldn't demand it.
A little bit things there, and then if you look at Mike McDaniel with
and by the way,
the Dolphins have gone out and added the offense. It's not like they said, no, you have to fix what you have.
Right.
We're not bringing anybody in. They have went out and made this offense better.
Right.
So that takes away that unrealistic feeling for me.
Right. Exactly. So I don't think I'm asking anything unrealistic that I demand that Mario Cristobal has to make it to the ACC championship game and win the Coastal. If Mario Cristobal can't win the Coastal and get to the ACC championship game, I would imagine when he looks in the mirror, he says, we failed. He has to say that. And if Mike McDaniel can't get in the playoffs, well, then, dude, you failed also. Because they were good enough to be 9 or 10 wins, and you did enough on offense that you should be pretty good on offense now. Oh, you're not? Well, that's on you now. That's your fault. Exactly. These are realistic goals. I agree. Let's see. Put Sean on the O-line. That's it. We'll dominate.
Yeah, that's undefeated. By the time they try to run around me, the guy's gone.
That's it. Just stand there, right?
Just stand there. You got to run around.
Shift a little bit or whatever. Yeah,
take a step out. You got to go wide.
That's it. It's a couple seconds. You got enough time to get rid of it.
There is one that says unrealistic. David Dalrymple says, I think it's close to unrealistic. It's his first year. Doesn't have his players yet. 8-4-9-3 seems about right.
Well, I think you got to win in a crappy Coastal. Yeah. All right, let's talk a little Okie and our ALennyLocksmith.com Miami. Florida Panthers report. David Dwork is always kind enough to join us every week to talk a little Panthers Okie. And, of course, we love talking about Lenny the Locksmith. They do it all, folks, all throughout South Florida, locations everywhere, 24-hour locksmith. So if you've been locked out of your car, your home, you name it, reach out to ALennyLocksmith.com, 561-284-5090. That's 561-284-5090. House or car keys, residential or commercial, it doesn't matter. Car locks, car key replacement, even with programming. ALennyLocksmith.com does it all, not just here in South Florida, but our friends in Tampa and Orlando and Central Florida. Lenny Locksmith will take care of you, and we even have a location in Phoenix. Time for the lockdown segment with David Dwork right now.
Time for the lockdown segment with Florida Panthers insider David Dwork. This lockdown is brought to you by Ileana Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Go to the website at ileanalocksmith.com. Here's WPLG Local 10 insider David Dwork.
All right. There he is.
All right.
How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Yeah, man, I'm great. How's everything on your side of the mic?
Let me see. On my side of the mic, it is a beautiful thing out here watching what you guys are doing every single night, and I think I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Moeller. I'm happy for Goldie. I'm happy for a lot of the people that have been hanging around this team for a long time, and obviously the owners have made such an incredible difference. That's the reason why we're talking about this team the way we are, is because of Viola and Sifu. But for you personally, it's got to be a lot of fun, man, because the team is becoming relevant locally. You're feeling that people more and more are getting on the bandwagon, which is what we kind of expected, that it was going to take a little while. But this has got to be a satisfying feeling for you to go from, the team that people don't give enough attention to all of a sudden maybe giving them the respect of being the best team in town.
Yeah, I mean, look, anybody that's familiar with South Florida knew that this is what it was going to take to get to that level, that it wasn't just going to be one good season or making the playoffs here or there. It was going to have to be some sustained success. You're going to have to convince the fans down here that there's a reason to drive up to Broward County, all the way out west by the Sawgrass, and go to some hockey games, and they've done that. This is the first time in franchise history they've made the playoffs 3 years in a row, and this year they've really rounded corner. They're, right now they're leading the Eastern Conference. They got a nice little lead for the entire conference. They've got a huge lead for the division. I think it's 8 points on Toronto and 11 points on Tampa with the same amount of games played. And, they're a wagon right now. They're setting records. They're scoring like crazy, scoring like this league hasn't seen a team do since the 90s. So it's, again, it's awesome to see. It's great to see that the region is embracing the team, that they're showing up more.
Finally.
The playoff tickets the pre-sale went really fast. It's a deserving thing, but at the same time, it's really awesome to see that everybody's jumping on board.
Yeah, it's so cool to see the way the buzz is growing like it was in the mid-90s, but this is obviously something completely sustainable and completely different than what we saw in the 90s, where we knew that team really didn't have much of a future. This one is just sick. All right, so the comebacks, my brother. I mean, I talked about this on a Saturday show a couple weeks ago, that you never feel like you're out of a game with the Panthers. And in the last couple of weeks, 4 and 5 goal deficits have been overcome, and won both, by the way, which, let's also talk about that, because a lot of times you see teams will come back to tie, but then kind of run out of gas and not finish it off, which I've even seen the Panthers do that in the past. This team, dude, it is relentless, and it's never out of a game. Where the hell does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, this team is just so deep, Orlando, that they just can come at you in waves. And they're kind of like a diesel engine, I guess. It takes a little bit for them to get warmed up, but once they get going, they can run for days. And I mean, you talk about a team running out of gas. This team does not run out of gas. This team, they've got gas to go 3 games, 4 games in a row, scoring all these goals. It's pretty remarkable to see. It's funny because, like, speaking to, Andrew Burnett and speaking to some of the players in the last couple of days, obviously they're quick to point out, like, yeah, we don't want to put ourselves in this situation. We don't want to keep falling behind like this. And that's really the first place they go with it. But yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, we've seen the comeback Cats over the last couple of seasons. We've seen them come back, down 4-1, down 3-1. And it's, it's cool. It's nice that they're never out of a game. What they've done in the last week, down by 4 goals, coming back twice, down by 4 goals in the third period in New Jersey, down by 4 goals to one of the best teams in the league right now, Toronto, who's playing amazing, who had just dismantled Tampa Bay, who's been playing their best hockey of the season, to come back on them down 5-1 in the second period. I mean, it's not a situation you want to put yourself in, but to be able to overcome those kind of deficits, to be able to just say, yeah, we played like shit for the first period or whatever, but no big deal. We've got this ridiculously deep team. with players on the third line who would be skating on the first line on most teams in the league. It's just unbelievable what they're doing. And again, just kind of back to your first point, it's something that fans down here have just got to be like, tongues hanging out of their mouths, like, oh my God, this is really our team.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Now, we always looked at Hubie as one hell of a player, but we always looked at Barkov as a top 10, top 20 player in the league, one of the great players in the league. Well, Barkov was really happy for Hubie in breaking his record. And Hubie has had an MVP season this year, and he probably should win the team's MVP. Did this season put Jonathan Huberdeau at the level of Alexander Barkov? Because we never really looked at them equally. We always looked at Barkov as the superior player. But this year, things that Hubie did, even when Barkov was out and taking over and really leading, I just wonder how you view them. And are they on equal footing now? Or has the gap closed considerably and it's a 1A, 1B? How do you view those two guys and the season that Hubie's had to put himself in that plateau?
I think it's they're very different players, so I don't think it's fair to like say one is better than the other. I think it's amazing that they're both.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying has he become like Barkov is the franchise player, and we looked at Hubie like he's an all-star player. Okay, is Hubie now a franchise player just like Barkov? Maybe I put it that way.
I think definitely they're both franchise guys. I mean, with Barkov, we've seen, and maybe he developed a little bit sooner than Huberdeau. He's a little bit of a bigger guy. Huberdeau has put a lot more emphasis the last couple of years in building up his body and building up that strength and that muscle so he could win a lot of those one-on-one battles, so he could be more of a well-rounded player. Whereas Barkov, he's always been this big, tough, puck possession guy. Just very special. But yeah, I think the Panthers, they really have three franchise players right now. If you throw Aaron Ekblad into the mix, because he's also absolutely a franchise type guy. But I mean, one thing that's kind of helped Jonathan Huberdeau this year, you remember Sasha Barkov, he's played, I think, 13 less games than Jonathan Huberdeau this year. So there was an opportunity for Hubie really to kind of step into the light on his own a little bit and carry the team. And he's done that.
But he's never done that. That's my point, that even if Barkov missed any games, it wasn't like Hubie he never played like this, that he took over, bro. Like you could tell the leadership part of him was really important to him. There was a level of maturity that you can see from the television. I'm not in the locker room with him or at practice like you are, and you have way more insight, but just from afar as a fan, it just seemed like Hubie took it upon himself to say, hey man, I need to do more. I need to be more. And he has been, dude. That's why I look at him and I say, yeah, he's franchise material now. I looked at him as an all-star. Now I look at him like franchise material.
I think last season was a big deal for Huberdeau in terms of his maturation as a player. I think he went through some off the ice things as a man. He went through, what the team went through last season with that, a great year, going to the playoffs with expectations, playing that ridiculous series against Tampa where maybe they were out-muscled a little bit, maybe opened some eyes, and then he goes into the offseason and he puts in a ton of work, not just on the ice, but off the ice as well, building up his body, building up his conditioning. And I think we're seeing kind of the results of all that this year, where Huberdeau, he was always, as you said, he was always this great, great player. But now he's turned another corner and he's gone into like this elite level of player that you're hoping to get out of him, a top 3 pick. Right. We've seen Barkov turn that corner over the last couple of years, but now Jonathan Huberdeau has as well. And remember, these guys are still in their mid-20s. They've been around, it seems like forever. They're still super young and they're still coming into their own. So, it's all kind of falling in line with where they should be. But yeah, you're absolutely right in that while Barkov had been already kind of arrived at that elite level, and he had graduated from being considered one of the more underrated players. He was more recognized. Now he won a Selke trophy. I think Jonathan Huberdeau now has joined him, and now the Panthers have an elite, very legitimate 1-2 punch on their forward ranks. And we've seen the results this year.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. That's why I asked you, because to me, that's where he's really elevated them. All right, couple more before I let you go. Pacing them. And, we talked to George a couple days ago, and obviously they've had such a dominant season, and they're going to end up locking in, the number one spot and all of that. But with so many games left, and you're already at a franchise record 104 points, how does the head coach walk the fine line of also protecting your players, pacing them, and maybe giving them a little rest before you get into the playoffs? Because, George was talking about how they still have to keep their edge going into it, so you don't want to lay off too much. So how do you balance that going into the end of the season?
Well, I think kind of what we were just talking about with these come from behind victories and these situations that they put themselves in that they've got to dig themselves out. I think that right there is kind of the starting point into keeping that focus and keeping your eye on a prize as you get towards the end of the season. Because, the playoff spot is locked up already. They've got a pretty healthy lead in both the conference and the division that they want to keep, and that's part of the motivation. But I think also they're not where they want to be in terms of how they're playing. And it's a great thing because they're still playing like an amazing team, but they're not putting full 60-minute games together yet. And they want to get to that point when the playoffs get here. They don't want to be falling behind.
Wait a minute. I think they're putting in the 60 minutes. I don't think
you can't fall behind 4-1 and 5-2 and say that you're putting in a full 60-minute effort.
It's 82 games. You're not going to play 1-0 games all the way through. What I don't believe is Bobrovsky is the guy that's putting in the 60 minutes on a consistent basis. That was going to be my final question to all of that, and we can just get into it now. That's my concern, and that's been your concern for a while since I saw that tweet of yours, of Bob allowing a greasy goal every once in a while and all that kind of stuff. And that, to me, that would be my concern going into the playoffs. It's not as much a concern as it has been in the past because – the Panthers can score like I've never seen in hockey. So it's sick, their offense. So it makes it a lot easier on the goalie. But that's my concern right there is when do I get to see the Bob that's a badass on a consistent basis?
I don't know if that day is going to come, unfortunately, Orlando. We've been talking about it for 3 years now. I don't think that the badass Vezina Bob that they signed to this, $10 million a year contract, I don't think they're ever going to get that on a consistent basis. You might get games like that, like you saw last week against Chicago, where he looks lights out, 37 saves. He's making big saves. He's making easy saves. He's doing it all. And then his next two starts, he gets pulled. So I think that's just kind of like what they're going to get from Bob. I know that behind the scenes, they're very pro Bob. That's their guy. Brunette said as much today that, he even kind of sheltered Bob a little bit from the last couple of games saying, and granted, he's been hung out to dry a little bit. He's also given up some soft goals. You want to see your starting goalie come up with some of those tough saves that, granted, you're going to give him the benefit of the doubt or whatever, that he doesn't give up, that he lets in a tough goal, give up a breakaway, give up a 2-on-1 down low. But you're playing like an Ottawa team where Anton Forsberg is making these huge saves. And it's like, why is Bob getting outplayed by a guy who's on, one of the worst teams in the league? And it's something that we've seen a lot this year, where Bob gets outplayed by the other goalie, but the Panthers are such an offensive juggernaut that they make up for it. And they're winning games 5-3 and they're winning games 6-4. But yeah, I'm just as concerned as you are, Orlando. I don't know if our concern is shared behind the scenes with the Panthers coaching staff. From everything that I've been told, from digging around with sources, that they're very pro Bob. They're happy with Bob.
But are they pro Bob because they got to stay on that side because mentally you don't want to get in the public eye and say, yeah, well, we're a little concerned about Bobrovsky, and then he hears that. So is that really more for show than is it really that, because here's my follow-up to all of that then. With all of these games that are left, which is what, about 11 games, I believe, right?
12 games left.
12 games left. So with 12 games left, and we all have to be honest with ourselves. And if there's a group of individuals that are brutally honest with themselves, are hockey people. So whatever they're playing at public, behind the scenes, they're super honest with themselves about this. None of us can feel that Bob was the Bob of the Predators 4 years ago against Tampa Bay. Sorry, none of us feel like that. So then, with the 12 games left, why not put Knight out there even more and try to roll and see if this kid actually does a little bit more and maybe makes you feel a little bit more secure going into the postseason? Or is it too late to do that? And we've got to go with the direction of, well, we'll start Bob. If he's playing well, we'll keep him between the pipes. If he's not, we'll have a quick hook and we'll bring in the kid. How do you handle it?
I think over the last 12 games that you'll see Knight probably start 4 or 5 of them. They're going to want to get Bob out there, but as much as we've talked about it, I think that Bob is their guy. I've been poking around recently, just trying to get a feel for what you're talking about, the behind the scenes. Because obviously, talking to the media, it's clear that they're going to be very supportive of Bob. Maybe a little too much, in my opinion. I think you can be a little bit honest that he's been giving up some weak goals, some demoralizing goals that are very frustrating. But nobody's going to throw their goalie under the bus. And look, I'm fine with that. I'm good with honesty too. But at the end of the day, if that's what they feel is going to be healthier for Bob, then fine. But from what I've gathered, and I'm going to continue to poke around as we get closer to the playoffs, they're just as pro Bob behind the scenes as they are to us. You take that for what it's worth. Personally, I would like to see more of Spencer Knight. I think he's more reliable. I'm a little bit more comfortable with him at this point, but we're on this side of the mic. They're on that side of the glass, and they're the ones making the decisions. And everything from what they've said to us, in the media to what I'm hearing behind the scenes, it all sounds like Sergei Bobrovsky's going to be the guy when the playoffs start. Now, that was the case last year too. Bob was the guy when the playoffs started, and they ended up starting 3 goalies in 6 games, and it was a total shit show, and that cannot happen again. If they're going to go with Bob, it's got to be Bob. They can't go Bob Knight. No, it's not going to work. If you're in this for a Stanley Cup.
Right.
The only team I can think of, in recent history that tried a goalie tandem in the playoffs was like when Philly did it back in the 90s, the year that they played the year after the Panthers beat them when they went to the final, and they started 2 goalies all the way, and it got them to the final, and then they got swept. So I think even that will only get you so far. But at the end of the day, Orlando, I think what we're seeing from Bob is what we're going to have to hope for the playoffs, that we get more games like Chicago and less games like, whatever it was, Buffalo, and then the other night against Toronto. But that, for me, that's the big question mark, because this team, forwards, defense, depth, coaching, they're hitting all the marks right now.
Oh, yeah.
The only question for me heading into the playoffs is going to be, is the goaltending going to be strong enough to take them all the way to the finish line?
I'm with you there. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Dave Dwork. Catch his podcast, man. Chirping the Cats podcast. And, of course, you can catch his work at WPLG and twice a week here. Locking it down with our LennyLocksmith.com Florida Panthers segment. David, thank you as always, my brother. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. Be well. Tell Sean I said hi. He needs to be on that Dolphins O-line.
You got it. There you go. All right, Sean. Man that O-line. And, again, you're locked out of your home, your car. Lenny Locksmith, 561-284-5090. 24-hour locksmith service, house or car locks, residential, commercial, car locks, car key replacement, even with programming. They do it all, and all throughout South Florida. So anywhere in South Florida, LennyLocksmith.com. That's your lockdown segment.
This has been the Florida Panthers Lockdown segment, brought to you by Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Call 855-869-5625 or go to the website at LennyLocksmith.com.
Right. Let me do a little OK Coin crypto corner, because right now it's actually pretty cool. We got a great story going on right now, and as you all know, did you know I like crypto? You know I'm into Bitcoin? I'm trying to tell people that it's
I've never heard that word. What is it?
Crypto.
Crypto?
So, yes.
Okay.
Not the one you roll. It's on a coin. All right. Anyway, so I just want to tell you guys, okay, the Tennessee Titans are now accepting Bitcoin. You can buy your Tannehill jersey with Bitcoin. You could go buy a beer in Tennessee with Bitcoin. You can buy your season tickets with Bitcoin. You can buy your suite with Bitcoin. You can pay your parking with Bitcoin. Not that I really suggest you do any of that. Really, you should save your Bitcoin. Do not use Bitcoin to buy anything, please. That's not my suggestion, okay? But just to show you, the Tennessee Titans now have become the first team to accept crypto payments. Notice how states are now wanting you to pay your taxes in crypto, okay? We want you to pay your taxes in Bitcoin. Of course, give us an ascending asset to pay the taxes. It's great. The $4,000 you paid for taxes will now become $44,000 in a couple of years. Thank you very much. So the Tennessee Titans are the first team now to accept crypto and Bitcoin as payment for anything inside the stadium. So there you go. Get your Ryan Tannehill jersey. All right. The other thing that I want to get into, when sports and business collide. Oh, wait a minute. Do you got a Tiger update or something? Did you freak out on Tiger? No? Okay. He's back to even? All right, so Tiger's still back to even. Not bad. All right, so anyway, when sports and business collide, we like to do this, and it's called the KSDT Sports Business Report. All righty. So, baseball is looking for some revenue. And one of the things that's, this world is turning into platforms, right? You get home, it's Netflix, it's Hulu, it's Spotify, it's iTunes. You get in your car, you listen to a podcast like our show or Joe Rogan or something else. We don't listen to traditional radio or watch traditional television anymore. And everybody knows that. And we're all going to platforms and apps in order for all of our entertainment and information. Well, Major League Baseball has expanded its coverage by going to the Peacock. That's right, the app. The Comcast-owned U.S. media giant has agreed to a deal with Major League Baseball to air 18 live Sunday morning games. Sunday morning, dude.
This has Marlins written all over it.
11:30 a.m. starts the first one. The rest of them will be at noon, dude. Now, wait a minute. They're paying $30 million per. So I did the math. It's $1.57 million per game. So they've got to produce more than $1.57 million ad revenue per game in order to make profit out of that. Okay? Now, do you put the Marlins on to make profit? No. So I don't think it'll be the Marlins. But anyway, $30 million a year for 2 years. The first game will be simulcasted on NBC, and the remainder of the package will be on Peacock's premium tier. The deal confirmed on the eve of the 22 campaign begins with the White Sox versus the Red Sox at Fenway Park on May 8th at 11:30 Eastern, followed by an initial 6-game run matchups. At the early start time, the 12 matches will start at noon each, with each feature of NBC Sports produced pre- and post-game show. Also, the Peacock will be the home of the All-Star Futures game, too, to showcase the fixtures of the top minor league prospects during All-Star Week. So it's 19. It ends up becoming 19 games, and $1.57 million per game is basically what they're paying for. That's what they're doing per year.
So is NBC getting more involved in baseball?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, but it's a small package. They're not airing all the games or anything like that.
I got that.
So it's kind of filling in. But yeah, definitely. And baseball has to take what it can get right now. You know what I mean? It has to do it. That, my friends, when sports and business collide, that is the KSDT Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
There you go. I just tripped Sean out because I just showed him something, and it's in my writing, and so my 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 chicken scratch was freaking him out. By the way, the hair doesn't look bad. This morning I woke up, and you get in the shower, and you're still kind of sleepy, right? You turn on the shower, and you start to just put some stuff on your hair, and you think. And I started with the conditioner, not the shampoo. I put on the conditioner first. I look at my hands. I go, no, dude, I started with conditioner. You know what I ended up doing? I just grabbed the shampoo, poured it on my hand, and I mixed it in with the conditioner. I just went all at once. I said, what the hell, bro? There are shampoos out there that are shampoo and conditioner, right? So I created my own. And the hair came out all right. It's all right. It looks all right. I thought it was going to maybe look kind of flat or something because of the mix, but no, it's all right. It's all right. It's also all right to have the Liquor Split app, okay? I mean, listen, everybody loves to tap that app, right? Don't you love to tap that app? I love to tap that app every night. So you do it with the Liquor Split app, whether you're eating, whether you want to drink. You got the games coming up. You got the playoffs, NHL playoffs. Listen, you got the USFL coming.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. You got some parties going. Come on, man. You need the Liquor Split app, and you need the Liquor Split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the Liquor Split matchup of the night.
Tap that app. They are correct about that. And so our Liquor Split matchup of the night tonight, we're going to go with the Celtics +6. Now, the Celtics played last night and won, and they're a half a game ahead of the Bucks. But remember, they're fighting for that second spot in the playoffs. And here's the thing. There's a good chance you're going to end up with the Brooklyn Nets because they probably will end up at number 7 when it's all said and done. So if you're number 2, you're going to be playing number 7. So tonight, the Celtics are actually getting 6 points from the Bucks in Milwaukee. I do expect Milwaukee to win this game, but I also expect the Celtics. I don't normally trust, Jaylen Brown and what's the other cat's name? Now I'm forgetting. Tatum, Jason Tatum. And those two cats, they're really good. They're really talented. But in key moments, in clutch moments, they have not performed as well. But tonight I'm going to go out on a limb. And my Liquor Split matchup of the night, I'm going to go with the Celtics +6. I'm going to count on them to lose, but I'm going to count on them to lose within 6. Why? Because the Celtics are going to do everything they possibly can to win this game to try to keep Milwaukee at bay and still hold the number 2 spot. Celtics +6. They lead the Bucks by half a game. Let's see what happens. That is our Liquor Split matchup of the night.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download the Tap That app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
All right. Another thing I wanted to talk about a little bit before I wrap it up here on the program. Deacon Fry is leaving the Eagles. He took over for Glenn Fry after his dad passed away. And the last couple of years, he's been touring with the Eagles. He sounds really good. The country singer who does a phenomenal job that I'm brain farting now and forgetting his name now. Damn it. He's really good. And he tours with them always. And he plays a lot of the Glenn Fry roles too, along with his son. So Deacon now says he has devoted the past 4.5 years to carrying his father's legacy. After some weeks of reflection, he now feels it's time for him to forge on his own path. And I thought about this, and Don Henley says, hey, we understand completely and we support him in whatever he wants, whatever he wishes to pursue in years ahead. And I was thinking about this. This is a lot like acting, that sometimes you're typecasted into something because you keep playing the same kind of role. And Deacon Fry, by continuing to sing his dad's songs, will end up being typecasted into it. And the question is, will he be able to shed that shadow now? Will he be able to create his own music? We're watching Wolfgang right now, Van Halen, try to do the same thing with Mammoth. And if you listen to Wolfie's music, it's actually pretty good, man. The song he wrote about missing his dad was, I mean, phenomenal, dude. I mean, it moved me. You know what I mean? And so I like what Wolfie's doing. Now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be something that commercially is going to be incredible success. You know? Vince Gill. That's it. Thank you very much. Vince Gill. And he does. Dude, Vince Gill's a stud as it is. But, I mean, in that role, oh, my God, he is awesome. But I feel for the kid because everybody wants, anybody that has some scruples, you want to make your own way. And this is going to be a challenge for Deacon Fry to now make his own name because Glenn Fry was such a monster. Eagles and solo, man. He's just one of the great talents in rock and roll history, man. So I commend the kid. By the way, I enjoyed watching him in concert a couple times with this Eagles group. I thought he did an excellent job. So I wish him the best, Deacon Fry. Good stuff there. All right, we are getting ready to wrap it up here. We thank the Brunetti family, as always, for being great sponsors of ours. Frank Fiore out there, Steve Calabro. Haven't seen Steve Calabro here the last couple of weeks. What's he doing, bro? Is he always eating while we're here? Is that what it is? Is that what he's doing? Gambling?
He's always busy. Every time
he's
I do
busy,
see him,
right?
he's meetings and everything else.
Eating. He's probably busy.
Wish I could have a meeting.
No love for us. We gotta get Calabro here. Anyway, we thank all the great people out here as always at Hialeah Park for making it nice and easy for us.
Wise guy didn't take him out, did he?
No, maybe not. I hope not. We got to thank Anthony Chang from the Miami Herald, Henry Revolta, Hall of Fame boxing promoter, Revolta Boxing, Alan Poupard from Sports Illustrated, Marcel Louis-Jacques from ESPN, David Dwork from WPLG, Ileana Torres from the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. Did we have enough guests today? Did we do enough today on this show? 3 hours and 34 minutes.
You always got to leave him wanting more.
Probably a total of what, maybe 8 or 10 minutes of commercials in 3 hours and 34 minutes? 3 hours and 34 minutes of programming for us is like 9 hours of programming for regular radio with half-hour commercials in every hour. Anyway, we thank you all. We will see you tomorrow live from Acura Pembroke Pines. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Sean Stanley mastering it all. Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show.